okay, getting the first pick.
Get 3, Pyro, get 3 with the
Void Kid putting on a clinic. Whole team's down. Oh!
Experience tranquility.
Let's drop the beat.
Go.
It's time for the beat drop. Woohoo! I'm your host, Gizmo Charmander, along with my co-host, as always, Captain Jack. How you doing?
I'm
tonight,
always here.
Always.
Always
Yeah, it feels like we
here.
do everything, from here in the casting on Wednesday.
Oh man,
Unbelievable.
People are just gonna vote for me in the awards just because they see me all over the place and they don't know who anyone else is.
Hey,
I think
exactly,
that's all it's gonna come down to.
You throw Gizmo out and they'll be like, who?
Yeah.
I'm even more ghost than the rest of the Tranquility podcast. So, but it's not about us tonight. It's about Slipstream. Harmony tier team went in stage 1, 1 and 4. Minus 6 points for maps. Stage 2, 3 and 0. So definitely something to turn around for them with
Beep,
a +6.
Beep beep River Sleep in stage 2.
And now they're seeing 9 for the playoffs. So, guys, why don't you go ahead and just go down the line and introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is Cajun Wise Guy. I'm the captain and general manager for Slipstream. We're here representing Limit Break Gaming, one of their teams. And our first stage started a little rough. We had to completely rebuild our tank core. People had some real life issues. And we started out with a really good tank core, but they had to go on to bigger and better things, jobs, opportunities, life issues. No team drama, but it
That's
definitely
good,
put
at
us
least.
behind the 8 ball. And it made some of the first stage games tricky for us. I don't think we brought Modify. They were a really strong team right out of the gate that we had to play, and then from there, we were always running into 3-2 splits and never really coming out on the upside. But a little bit about myself. I've been a first-person shooter since probably the dawn of first-person shooters. I was a high-level Doom player, Quake player in the day. I did contemporaries, was Thresh. I did play with him against his team, and then I moved into Quake 3. So my contemporaries were Fatality was probably the guy I would run into most often. The team that I was with was Team Abuse. We literally invented a lot of the esports things you see today. We did coaching. We invented the software. We did a lot of the first person, we had to literally write the software that first party is provided now today. So we would travel over the United States and over the world competing against high level Quake 3 teams. And then I was also one of the first esports commentators. My contemporary has gone on to bigger and better things. I would co-cast with DJ Wheat. He's now on to the director for Twitch. So do have a good experience with him. I've seen the scene evolve. I went into Quake Live and stayed there for a little bit, and then I jumped over to Overwatch beginning in, I would say, be October of 2016. And that's kind of the kickoff for the team from there. But I will relinquish control and we'll roll on to Debug.
Well, before you do that, we love to regale you in the excitement that was obviously a very long history in gaming. So props to the boomers of gaming here, folks. Just saying. We laid the path. Just saying. And let us know, Cajun, what your favorite character skin is.
I'm a traditionalist, and so being as such, I did gravitate to soldier. Be as it may, people may disparage his skills on the battlefield, but I like the I what the heck was the skin called? It was the one that came with the pack. It was the one with the
Commander.
big, the commander, yeah, the one with the
Commander
big
Morrison.
cape on the back.
Commander
And
Morrison, yeah. That's
yeah.
a good skin. I'm with you
Mhm.
on that.
So that is my favorite on the field, a battlefield dress, as they say.
Nice. All right. Debugsta, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Debugsta99, and I've played for Slipstream for, 2.5 years at this point. I'm a support main, and I just love playing with the guys, Sundays, Wednesdays, tournaments, whenever.
And what is your favorite character skin?
Oh, that's easy. It's the Snow Owl on Ana. If
Oh,
I
yeah.
pick
Oh,
that,
yes.
That's a good one.
if I
Her
pick that,
skins are
we
all
win the
good.
game. That's right.
All right. Avilix.
Avilix.
Hey, I am Avlix. I am the in-game lead for Slipstream, as well as with Cajun. I've done some high-end gaming back in the day. However, Overwatch is my first-person shooter.
Mm-hmm.
I played a lot of World of Warcraft Arena at some pretty high levels, talking to some guys from Death and Taxes, Executus and Method, as far as like the high-end guilds go. Back in, God, had to be 12, 15 years now.
Wow.
Yeah,
and
you
over-
also had this whole sponsored suite.
Oh yeah,
thing
I
like we
played
did
with
too, yeah.
Razor and team housing and all that fun stuff.
What
Got
are
the whole
you all
swag thing
doing
going.
here? I'm just wondering.
I'm going to need
Goodness
That's
some
gracious.
contacts after this. Just
We're
FYI.
old.
Oh.
Occasion would probably have a lot better contacts at the like just because I know most of my guys have just fell out. Like we all decided that after a while we were just done.
Goodness
I'm
gracious.
DMing all of you because you're awesome.
So much history here. Wow. All right. What is your favorite character skin?
Ooh, probably at the moment would have to be Lubu for Reaper.
Oh, yes.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
Love that one.
All right. Atomic Devil.
Yep, I'm Atomic Devil. I primarily play DPS for Slipstream, but I can flex to healers and tanks if needed. Though that's not very often at the moment because we seem to have a pretty solid core in each area. As for skins and stuff, I don't have a specific favorite. I can kind of change skins around depending on what DPS I'm playing, but I do like the Reaper. I think it's the undead skin, where he's got the pumpkin head.
Oh,
It's actually
Oh,
just called
skin.
Pumpkin.
is it? I
Yeah,
thought it was
it's called
called.
It's actually just Pumpkin. Him and May both have a skin named Pumpkin, and that's what that.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
Wait,
interesting.
May has a
Undead is
pumpkin on her
McCree.
head?
Undead is McCree.
That's right. That's right.
Hold up, May's got a pumpkin on her head?
No,
She's
she
got a
has a
skin called
pumpkin
Pumpkin.
skin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought there was one with a pumpkin on her head. I was like, hold up.
Yes. Do it,
That's the name of
Blizzard.
What certain
Tis the
glitches happen,
season.
The name of that skin was Pumpkin Spice Edgelord.
I mean, we don't talk about it, but yes. Snark, you're up next.
Yes, I'm Snurk. I play support for Slipstream. I think my favorite skin would have to be the Captain Amari Ana skin.
Mhm.
Just because I unlocked it probably in my first loot box or so, and
I love that.
just had it ever since.
Nice.
Damn, I was hoping it was going to be Strike. Strike on is legit too.
Yeah,
Let's
Amari's
be honest.
better.
All of Honest skins are just legit.
Oh, they're real good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Red Raiju.
Hey, so I've been playing competitive video games since I was about 12. My first opportunity to join a semi-pro team was in Black Ops 2, for a team named L7. And I was 13 at the time, but I'd had to drop out of high school, so I ended up just switching over to local tournaments for a game called Smash Brothers. and I played that.
just
I'm sure no
from
one
a
cared
little indie
about.
developer, no big.
Yeah, and I played that for about 5 years, and I got absolutely nowheres other than making a lot of great friends, and decided I'd pick up Overwatch because I'd been playing since season 3. Um, and then I recently, not even a year ago, switched to PC because I had a console at the time. Um,
Booyah.
that's about it.
And what's your
Hey,
favorite
what's in?
character? Yep.
My favorite skin is definitely Oni Genji. I have
Yes.
Oni. I got it from the event when I was on console by paying my friend $5 to do it for me, and I have the Oni Genji mask in person and replica sword signed by the voice actor.
Wow. Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Ooh, snap.
That's
So
cool.
it's pretty cool.
When you have more money, you know what to do with.
Right? I
True.
wish.
I saved up for that.
Yeah, I was about ready to say, I wish that was the case for some of the stuff we have, but, you know, when you're a fan, you'll find a way.
You'll find a way. Cardinal, you're up next.
Yeah, hey, I'm Cardinal, whichever, both work. I'm the brand new, I guess, off tank to this team. Been here for what, like 2 months, not even. But I mean, I like.
Yeah,
I like
you've been
this
here
team.
longer than 2 months.
Have I?
Maybe 3.
Yeah.
Maybe 3. Well, whatever. It
Overwatch
still feels
Tranquility
kind
months are about
This
4 months in
tournament
real
has
life.
been going on forever, it feels like. Well, we've been training for it forever. We started training back at what, like the mid-July?
The fact that you said you're
Yeah.
training for it.
Well, we switched. That's the thing. Like we spend half of our year climbing ladder, SR,
Yeah.
and playing
And
SR
see,
games.
we have different philosophies than other teams because we've been around for 4 years, so
Yeah.
we actually have phases in our calendar year.
Ah.
And we go in and out of tournament mode to casual ladder mode.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can think of one other team in Harmony that's like that.
Really?
Yeah, Paradise, actually, believe it or not.
They didn't seem like that, but I guess that makes sense.
They've actually were in a different org and then broke off and made their own. But yeah, they were like
Oh.
that.
Interesting.
It's one of the OG members, I would know that.
How about that?
All right. And last but not
Oh,
least.
wait. What's Cardinal's favorite skin?
right.
The most
Look.
important part of the intro.
Well, I mean, I don't really play DPS, but I gotta say, Ash's little red skin is.
Ah.
You
my
would.
favorite.
You would.
Okay, no. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Though, when they showed that, everyone was thinking immediately if they ever did a Marvel theme, it could have been Black Widow and the Hulk.
I mean, I guess. I can't say that that's what I was thinking when they did
Hey,
the
that's
little
the
red
skin I run
skin.
with.
I've
All
always...
I heard,
Go ahead.
Cardinal, all I heard from you, bud, was the schoolgirl outfit that they gave Ash. That's all I heard.
Sure. All right.
Honestly, I just want to swing my axe. That's all I want to do. I don't want to punch people. Just let me swing my Viper as an axe. That's all I want to do as Ash.
Oh yeah. And last but not least, Dark Ice Demon.
What's up? Yeah, I'm Dark. I'm play main tank for Slipstream. Even newer than Cardinal, I think. I joined maybe like.
I think we got y'all back to back, honestly.
Yeah, it was like in September, in the midst of the first phase of the tournament, and man, you guys got me thinking about like history of competitive gaming, and I thought it started with COVID. Actually, that's kind of when I picked up Overwatch after not touching it for a few years, and like starting to meet people on ladder. I met someone that actually introduced me to Tranquility League, and that's how I kind of found Slipstream through sort of that path. But my
So Cajun didn't recruit you under false pretenses.
Oh, I did.
Oh, I'll need to hear that story actually. But I gaming experience was actually back in like it must have been in 08 or something. Back in my school days, I had a friend that was really into anime, and every year we'd go and volunteer to get free tickets to Anime North and Fan Expo. If you guys know, like in Toronto, those are like the two big
Those are
conventions.
big conventions. I've been wanting to go to those. That's all.
Yeah, it was huge for like anime and for gaming and stuff. And so actually, I mean, the only game really that was competitive at the time that I could even reasonably play was Smash Bros. So I got really good at Solid Snake for the Wii, and played in the tournament there in Brawl. Like, I mean, I got my butt kicked, but I mean, I got through like a few phases. It wasn't all in vain. I got better than my friend too at that game, and he's used to being better than me at stuff. So that felt pretty good.
All right. What about your favorite skin?
Oh, my favorite skin? I've been rocking the All-Star Rhine skin lately. So
Dude, that's
It is the greatest.
It would have been just throwing money into the wind if I didn't say that one, right?
Right?
It's actually the only money I've spent on this game too. Like I got the game as a gift, so like I didn't
Demon,
feel
I'm
bad about
disappointed
spending
in you.
money, you know?
No, I mean that's a perfect way to spend the money is on that skin. Like I
Exactly.
honestly thought nothing was ever going to be Baldric, and then that skin came out. I'm like,
That's
okay.
my Baldric's my favorite with the gold axe or with the gold hammer. Sorry.
Oh, see, I would have to go with Blackheart on that one with the gold axe.
Blackheart's the
And,
second.
I mean, if you want to pretend like you're Deathwing, sure.
I just like dealing out death, man. That's all I do.
Oh, and he gets an axe instead of a hammer. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's the Bloodheart and the Blackheart skins
Blackheart,
have an
yeah.
axe.
Yeah. And then if you get the summer skin, it's a trophy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then his
and he says touchdown. You can touchdown at the end of any game. If you have a skill.
Oh goodness.
I always have fun with Reinhardt. All right, so the first question we always like to start off teams with is the history of the team. So Cajun, take it away.
Well, we started out as a subgroup of it was an organization called Tactical Gaming, and a lot of and this goes into why we're called Slipstream, is that a lot of their naming conventions were based on skin names.
I thought all of them were.
I think all of them were, yeah. So we were a new team that was brought up in sort of a pseudo-military type of organization.
Yeah.
And we had to, there's a lot of paperwork. If anybody's been in the military, a lot of paperwork.
Yep.
And so we had to do a lot of that as far as post-practice reports, pre-practice reports, and individual action reports, and a lot of stuff like that. So, but we made it through that, and along the way, we had some leadership at the beginning, and due to my, we just, I would say, experience in this arena, kind of, they relinquished controls over to me, and one of my core philosophies of being on teams or teams that are long lasting has always been, you're going to build around personalities first, because the relationship has to survive the transaction. You have to be able to live through losses. If you constantly chase the bag of skills, if you constantly chase that person that has the it skill, well, you're going to fall apart.
Egos start to be a problem.
Yeah, egos start to be a problem. If you lose, hey, you need to go for somebody else, and then the team falls apart because so and so's friend left, they left, and it's an untenable situation in the long term. It's okay for the short term if you want to make a run in open, if you want to make a run in a certain division or tournament. I think it's a viable tactic, but there's no illusion that the team's going to fall apart at the end. So we've always been relationships first, and we will train you up to the skills that you need. Now, granted, we're not a high skill team. We live in the gold plat area. We're not setting the world on fire.
I feel that.
But we got a lot of experience. I was since we started out early, I was an administrator on the OTC league. I guess they merged with Rose at the time. So, we set that up, and we were running 140 teams at the time. So we saw a lot of this going around where teams would just collapse after, one or two losses. And we can that's a future topic, and later on in this conversation is tournament experience. But I said, as far as Slipstream, we've gone through a couple of organizations. Some have been great, some have been not so great. We tend to outlive the organizations that we're with, and again, we always want to bring something to the organization with the caveat that you need to bring something to us. We're a team in your org. We're bringing members, we're bringing exposure, we're bringing activity and exuberance. You got to bring something to us. And that's always been that trade-off that a lot of organizations can't meet, or they're not willing to, I would say, kind of go
That and
our
not
way
letting
on a few
Alex
things.
talk to people.
Yeah, I mean,
Give it
Alex
5
and
minutes and you'll
Atomic-
understand why.
Yeah, we definitely have our opinions. I mean, we're a lot older than I think the average age here for Slipstream. We're well into our 30s. Me, I'm past 50. Others are even the 30s and 40s. So we have life experiences in the real world. Managing divisions, managing companies, running companies that we, know.
And in the gaming world, that's weird.
Yeah, and in the gaming world too. So we know, hey, look, what you're selling us isn't going to work. So we tend to take our team elsewhere, but we've really Limit Break Gaming's been great for us so far. I mean, they've got other teams there. They've been very helpful, friendly. So far it's been a great home for us, and we're glad to represent them here in Tranquility. I know you guys don't like the L word, but so we'll shy away from that. But yeah, it's been a good.
Wait, there's
little...
a word we're not supposed to use. I need to write it down.
Yeah, there's a word. Yeah, you need to repeat it about 5 or 6 times now. That was
No, it's not allowed.
just take away from
You'll
you'll
anger the Cav. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But we
can get everybody else.
Yeah, we have been around. We've been in the OTC League. We've been in Owlette. We've been in.
And they all suck. No, that's horrible.
Yeah, well, they don't. I wouldn't say
they don't suck. No, I just have issues with them because of short-sightedness or what in the world is going on.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna love this team so much tonight.
It's like nothing. Everything is built around the people that we have to have now, and not for anything that's got to last 6 months from now.
Yep. I feel that so hard. I've been in quite a few organizations myself that I've left because of that short-sighted viewpoint, or those in charge have a very selfish view on how the organization should be run, saying that they're doing it for saying they're doing it for the community when really they're just kind of doing it to fill their pockets. And it's like,
well, they're doing it to build their Twitch channel or all that fun stuff.
Something like that. Yep, I feel that. Wow, that's awesome. You all are definitely bringing a heck of a lot to the table. And I guess technically you've already answered our next question, which is how you all got your name. So I imagine the Slipstream is the Tracer skin, yes?
I think that's the only one.
That's the only one that's called Slipstream.
That's the
only one.
Okay. So interesting. Now were the teams all named after like different Tracer skins, or like was it any game?
Skins in general.
Okay. Interesting.
You had like an Onyx skin, although I think a couple of teams have Onyx or
carbon fiber, and a few other ones that went down that path. But it was just a naming scheme that they could attach a team to, then assign team leaders, and then from team leaders, the organization would assign you new players, and then you would kind of go from there.
Ooh, so I had a question for Cajun. Were you originally a DPS player? I can't remember.
I think I might have been. I'm not sure. I've always been a flex player, and that's
yes.
Which means that I can click on any player and suck at any of them. That's what flex player means.
Yes, that's exactly what we do.
The hero lag for you is real.
Yeah, I call it hero lag. An old guy. We switch from one hero to the other, and I still have that muscle memory from the previous hero I was playing. So I'll like hit
going
shift
from hit fan to anything else.
I could definitely feel that. That's for sure. All right, so I guess we'll go ahead and drop down a couple of questions, and I guess this will be the first one that will open up to the entire team, and so we'll start with Cajun, and once Cajun's done, we'll go down to Debugsta and
At
so
your
on and
own
so
peril.
forth. Yes. Well, I mean, like we said, it's an open forum, so just remember it goes live in about 3 weeks. So we'll see what happens.
All comments are those of the individual and not of the team as a whole. There's disclaimers.
All right. So, starting off, how have you as a player, or I guess Cajun in your case as a GM, improved this season here in Tranquility?
That's a good question. How have we improved in this season? Well, this is
We
our
said
first
you.
season.
You didn't say we. That's clear.
No, that's the next question. I'm talking about you specifically.
Well, look, the team motto for Slipstream is suck less. So that's
so how'd you suck less this season?
Try to suck less a little bit.
We didn't say he achieved it.
I would say, how would I suck less in this? It's not our first tournament. It's not our first rodeo. So a lot of those areas have already been well explored by Slipstream.
Mm-hmm.
I would say
I haven't seen as many bobs go off the edge of the map.
No, actually, Cajun, I got one for you.
See, this is where the other team answers my question for me because they're going to tell
we
you
should.
Guys how I suck less.
No, I
ahead,
think
Atomic.
I think as a whole, from our leadership, has been the not bashing our main tank to death.
Oh yeah, the main tank in Overwatch is by far the most brutal position to play because nobody's going to care if some DPS fucks off and dies. Whoops, edit that one out.
No, it's all right.
It overextends into a area that maybe they would wish that they weren't in, and but man, your main tank misses one move and the entire team feels it. So in the past, it's been an area for Slipstream that has been hard to manage because we've had tanks that are really trying to execute well, but unfortunately maybe coming up a little bit short, and maybe we as a team did not handle that as well as we could have.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in this season, this time we've gotten the maturity where we definitely managed the tank's time as well because look, I don't care if you're a main tank, as a team, you're going to get burned out if you're constantly main tanking because you will reach that point. So
especially if you're being berated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Dark, please take notes and thank us later.
I mean, my mental state's holding itself together.
Well, right now he doesn't have.
No, we have tried. I think it was the other practice. Like I think I said one of two things, and I mentioned occasion later. I'm like, I'm gonna have to find a cookie to give to Dark at some point because we were just being too critical.
Yeah, it's all right. I can take it. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, but how long? That's the problem. We need you to take it for years, not months.
Okay.
So we have to.
Yeah, definitely pace myself for that marathon.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah. So I think that's been an improvement. Like I said, we completely rebuilt our tank core. I mean, Red is part of our tank core crossover DPS, and we started out with really high hopes, but life issues being what they were, two of the members had to drop out, so that meant that we had to recruit, and Cardinal and Dark were gracious enough to join us. And a little bit of a rough learning curve because again we're in tournament mode, so that means that we only play 4 hours a week. The teams are like, well, we need five days a week. We need a commitment of 15 hours. We're like, no, we got 4. We're two days a week, and one of those days is burned on doing a tournament game. So that really leaves us with 2 hours a week to do a lot of really focused scrim and training, and I think these guys have performed quite admirably given the short amount of time that I think any other team would probably even attempt it with 2 hours a week.
Awesome. All right, Debugsta, how have you improved this season? I die less. I mean, that's good. That's a good thing. Staying alive is important in this game.
Yeah, well, I guess what I'm going for is I die more on my terms than I have in the past. As in, like, I'll go for a reset, or I won't be taking a random widow shot to the face because I'm a little bit better positioned out of it, or I get out of the way in time, or I know that something's there. I guess I've been working on that this season so far.
And I think that that's really a really important aspect to figure out, because people talk a lot about, charging up the enemy's ultimates and things like that. And, you can easily, even though you still take a death, which in Overwatch, like, KDA isn't really as big of a thing as it would be in, like, Call of Duty or something like that. Being there for that team fight, Vice being separated out, is incredibly beneficial. So that's smart. I know we giggled at the beginning, but that's definitely being able to go out on your own terms is always a positive. Avalix.
Oh, mine's easy. My improvement has been not been drunk every practice. That's true. I went into this season being like, if we're going to be in tournament mode, I would not. Now, there have been some, like, last 30 minutes of practice where I just said, screw it. And then I get a whisper from Cajun a little bit later. But it is by far and few between now, as opposed to just being like, okay, fuck it.
I would offer that a secondary improvement for Avalex has been his increasingly less proclivity to jump into the back lines and go 1v6 and then leave the rest of the team on a 5v6 mission to try and win that team fight.
Damn,
so that's been occurring less.
Well, that comes with the trusting my DPS and my tanks actually do something.
Trust me, I had the same problem too.
Hey, I trust you too, Av.
Yeah, you have to understand, like, we've had some really iffy tanks, and then once you train a tank up and then something happens and they leave, it's training another tank. Like, to train you two in the middle of a tournament is obscene, and that's when y'all yell at me. It's like, why are we running this teleporter strat again? Because it has to work.
Yeah.
It's I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I think overall, it's, for me personally, it's the being fully present during practice, even when there are times where I just want to, like, snap someone's neck. But you get 4 hours a week, and I mean, I've been here maybe a month less than Cajun, so that's two of us at like 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so, although I did defer leadership for God knows how many years because I didn't want to deal with any of the paperwork, so I just do the in-game stuff.
I remember being in that position. I was part of Die Hard Gamers Inc. Back in the Black Ops 2 days, and dang, I love the friends that I made from that, but God, it's like, why do we got to be so ritualistic here? Like, it's supposed to be like the military and fun, not actually be the military and be boring.
Yeah, I was offered a few times before I even thought about it, and it was just like, no.
Nah.
I just want to be the complete, like, asshole in the middle of the game that wonders what in the world you're doing.
So the favorite word for Avalex in mid game is why. Why the bleep are you doing that? Why did you use that ult? Why are you over there?
Less why questions. That's occasion.
That was my motto. Less why questions.
Well, see, the question shouldn't be why. The question should be why not.
Here's the problem. When you got people using ults on one person after a team fight, when you know the next fight's going to be what you have to spend, and you're like, oh, that ult would have been nice.
Hey, it's not about efficiency. It's about sending a message. All right.
The message we send is we humbly give you this point.
We humbly will give it back to you. All right, Atomic.
I will say that's the benefit of these guys is, since we do recruit for personality, it does make, like, there are very few bad practices, because even a lackluster practice is generally still fun and engaging.
Well, that's good. All right, Atomic, your turn.
Improvement.
He hasn't improved at all. It's fine.
No, it's probably
pass
true.
on.
I think I've regressed a little bit, actually.
That's because you're playing with me and Cajun.
Yeah, this is true. Bad influence. My aim's probably pretty much where it's going to stay at the moment. So I've been more
Wow,
on.
your sniper's gotten a ton better, dude.
That's improved a bit, I suppose.
That's because of all the PUBG and COD.
True.
I think your Winston play's gotten less
My
bad.
Winston's pretty good, but I don't really
He's
play
never
that.
use it.
No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's good.
Ouch.
That's rough.
It's the threat of the Winston.
More on I think positioning and just trying to get into other areas. Usually I play more at range unless I'm playing Reaper and stuff like that, but I'm trying to sort of position a bit better that I can get sort of sneakier and better shots in when I'm playing like Junkrat and things like that. Trying to work on sort of bomb bounces and booping myself and just little bits and pieces, and and then hopefully some of the other guys point out stuff if they happen to be speccing, and try to take that on board as well.
All right, Cajun, you heard that, right? We have to be more overly critical of Atomic. The problem is I don't think he missed anything.
Oh.
He's a round player. It's just,
self-aware.
I mean, he's not horrible.
All right, Snark.
Wow, glowing praise, Av.
Here's the thing. Like, consider the other crap I could have said. Yeah.
All right, Snark, your turn.
Yeah, I think similar to what Bug said, I think the biggest improvement I've been making is kind of general game sense. Like I think I'm no longer at the point where I get like really tilted and upset if there's a Widow and she gets a cheap shot. I think these days I know where they have a flanking Widow or something. I know where it's going to be. It no longer feels like unfair, I guess, when DPS make really good plays.
So we desensitized him when we suck, is what he just said.
No, I just mean like playing against Smurfs no longer feels as unfair. I guess I've been a lot better about like tilting these days. I think it's good to never be the first. You should never be the first to tilt.
Oh,
well,
man.
yeah, there's just no place in it for the longevity of a team.
Snurk is the first one with the human's effort trying to force Zen into situations that any normal person would have long ago given up on. Zen. Snurk has absolutely been there for filling that role.
That's
role. And in his sense, Zen. So it's
Snurk, I have a new appreciation for Zen, but that's only because I keep having people yell at me.
Yeah, I joined. I've been on Slipstream for like a year and a few months.
I'd say you're over a year now.
Yeah, you're
maybe two
by now.
When I joined, I think these guys didn't really have the concept of like off supports.
We still don't.
Like, yeah, it's still kind of hard. Like, but we're making progress. I don't know. I guess my game sense on Zen is in terms of when I should be playing it is maybe not the best.
Your DPS still feel like healers are less healers and they're more mistake erasers. And so, yeah.
I mean, nothing wrong with that.
He is a champion for dive. I mean, God knows we don't play it, but I mean, he is the champion for Slipstream to play dive. I mean,
he does. Eventually, you tell him well enough that he picks better situations to bring it up in.
Yeah, there you go. That's what he's improved. The less bad situations.
The better situations of suggesting things.
If we had better shot calling, we could play dive.
There's none of that. You should have gave up on
it's really target prioritization, I think.
That's actually on the list for once we get out of tournament mode, Snurk.
I'm still working on the kill feed.
It doesn't exist on Cage's screen. That's the other problem we got.
Gotcha. All right, Raiju.
Hey, so I think definitely my awareness and my ability to like shot call weird strat setups between matches has definitely improved. Like recently I found myself doing that way more often than I ever would have in the past.
That's because we force you into a weird train of thought because we refuse to do anything conventional.
Yeah.
The Reaper play in our last match was
that was amazing. That was spot on.
Yeah, at the end it was good.
Thank you.
You'll have to fill us in. We weren't there.
It was pretty much we were running something and we had been doing okay, and then Red was like, "Hey, instead of trying like an Echo or a Sim, which would have been probably normal, he's like, grab the Reaper," and we grabbed the Reaper and completely decimated a team. First point with 33 to win.
Well, I mean, as long as the Reaper is taking down the tanks and
Oh,
whatnot.
the Reaper is worthless, but yeah.
Just a big old distraction is what it ended up becoming.
I mean, I say that
honestly,
because I was a
I don't
Reaper
remember
player.
why we picked Reaper, but there was a reason. I think it might have been Tank. Like
It was because
it was
trying
destroying-
to run a teleport into them was probably going to be futile. And a
Yeah,
tank issue, yeah.
I was
Their
referring
tanks
to-
were fairly
Oh
good.
yeah, I remember now. It was First Point Blizzard World, and I told him to go Reaper so that they could push left side while I go right side and take the off angle. That way we can
We
get a quick
completely,
pinch.
they could not deal with the pressure at all.
The pinch instantly. One is the point.
I mean, I was just talking about
that was
the
against
call.
Fighting Potatoes, I believe.
Yeah, I think this is
Flying
also
potatoes?
but I was just talking about the call at the very end where they had to push through the choke at the beginning of last point of Junkertown, and you said put the Reaper right in front of the door, and they did not see the Reaper.
I said hide in the corner of gate, and as they come from top right, just spam their Winston shield down, and any shield that pops up, and as soon as they're both down, just keep shooting until no one's paying attention to the Reaper, and it just blast.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's when, when the Reaper hid behind the door. That was, I still can't believe Atomic got away with that.
Yeah.
All right.
Keep spamming up like that one corner.
All right, Cardinal, you're next.
Well, to be honest, I think the thing I've improved the most in is like the understanding of like how the enemy team is playing. Because beforehand, like I don't know, I just doing it, like living the moment. But now I'm like, wait a minute, like I'm understanding more how the enemy team's playing. Like let's say they have Nanoblade, I'm saving grab for Nanoblade, and
So when
it
you
usually
learn
works.
how we're playing,
Well, I mean that's on the second part.
I'll give you crap, dude.
I know.
No, it's
Yeah.
dude. Our two tanks that came on at the beginning of this tournament have been phenomenal. They have gotten immense like backlash, and I am harsh on them constantly to the point of I have to tell Cajun of like I'm being hard and I shouldn't be, like because I've definitely have notes on Cardinal and Demon of, they need to work on this, and they both have a list, but I try not to. I try to give it to them piecemeal instead of the entire thing at once.
No, I want to see this list.
No, you don't.
You want to see my list?
Your soul cannot handle
You
it.
wanna see
Oh
my list,
goodness.
Dad?
Cardinal, you got anything else, Dad?
Not much.
Yeah. Cardinal, along with Atomic, is our token foreign exchange students from Canada.
Oh.
Wait, we only have two? I thought we had more. No, that must be the other guy we play COD with. Sorry, Atomic keeps integrating people.
And technically, I'm originally from Australia, but I live in Canada now.
Right. So he'll punch you in the face and then apologize for it.
Yeah.
Crikey, mate.
The apology's optional.
All right, and lastly, Dark Ice Demon.
Yes, sir. Okay, cool. So, question is,
how have you improved this season?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, I mean, I think I mentioned a bit earlier that I literally just kind of picked up Overwatch when COVID started. It's kind of like my sport when I can't get out and actually join a team for something. So, I've
Wait, you're
I've
physically active? Hold up.
I love it.
Jesus Christ. Someone's got to keep a list on him when he is able to go outside to make sure.
Anyways, yeah. So, I mean, when I picked it up, I was like, I just placed like low bronze and everything because I just like didn't care when I placed earlier or whatever.
That explains so much.
And I climbed, like I literally one-tricked Ryan up to like mid-plat. And so that when this season came around, like I actually, so I mean that's been a big season for me. I've really taken a liking to Monkey, enjoying some Sig here and there.
Demon, I need some of your notes. I feel bad now. Because I try to play Ryan on Switch and I can't do it. Ryan doesn't live on Nintendo Switch at all.
Does anything live on Nintendo Switch though?
Dude, it's hard when your diamond players are top 500.
X.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that for sure. All right, let's go ahead and it seems like we included a lot of how the team has grown as well throughout that. So Gizmo asked that last question.
Growth.
Yeah. So we always like to ask who you guys think the most underrated player of the team is. I got it right this time. You know, who do you feel like is not talked about in like the chats and all that in Tranquility, or is there someone who just doesn't get the recognition?
Wait, you mean as in Tranquility, as in like that, like the server, or like?
Yeah, like the server as a whole.
I mean, someone has to read the server. Occasion, do you read it?
I think Slipstream as a team, we're not ego chasers.
We're self-sustained, so we meh.
You know, we're more. I would say the only thing and we don't really have a player that's, because we're always very team focused, and like I said, we're based on personalities, so our practices are.
Ooh, can I give it an MVP?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I mean, we're going down the line, so everybody gets.
Oh yeah, Occasion, you go. I'll wait till my turn.
Everybody gets their shots in.
You know, I would say, and this is gonna be a different pick. This is gonna be a unexpected pick.
Okay.
But I think for us, for me, for the team, for the MVP would be Debug. He's not in Tranquility with us because his ranking was a little bit higher than, and we wanted to adhere to not only the spirit but the letter of the league. So his ranking was a little bit over the limit, so we did not put him in the off roll, and we elected to not play him in Tranquility. But he has been here with the team throughout that. You know, in our practices and in all of our scrims, you know, providing, you know, great guidance in the support role. So that's my pick for MVP.
Awesome.
It's almost like you said a little bit of coaching. Huh?
Oh.
Yeah, put a pin on that topic. We'll come back to that.
All right. Now, Debug stuff.
If I had to go for most underrated, the kill feed definitely reflects it. Atomic just gets random tires that work, random death blossoms that just work at the end of the game, and that 80% of the time, that's the difference between us winning and losing. Is we fought our hardest, but then a random tire comes out of nowhere and gets a 4K, and we cap the point. We would do whatever. So, in general, that's what I'd have to say. That's my pick.
Thanks, Debug.
All right, I'm gonna change my pick.
All right, Alex.
For literally the exact same reasons, mine's going with Debug. To be on a team where you're not playing like half the practices because it's a tournament game, and still showing up and being on like during random days and being like, hey, let's play some games and all that other stuff. It's to be on a team and to not necessarily be benched, but more or less like that's just what it is. And to stay with the group and play other games. I know Debug plays other games with the group as well, like COD, Minecraft, all that fun stuff. So to be able to not be a part of like the key thing going on in the moment and still like staying around without there being issues is huge.
All right, Atomic.
Yeah, well, obviously thanking Debug for hanging around and helping us out and still scrimming with us. But also, I think Peter's not here tonight, but he definitely, you know, he gives his all every time he plays, and you know, it's
and probably the best, one of the better attendants too.
Yep. Yeah, it's if he doesn't turn up, it's a family emergency pretty much. So
and no one can get a hold of him.
Yeah.
Oh,
need to get that guy a phone, for fuck's sake. But I think Peter's done, you know, a lot of good work. He keeps improving too. So yeah,
And he's a long-term member. He's been
Oh
here.
yeah. Well, I mean, all of us
time.
are except for Demon and Cardinal.
So that's
red.
Yeah.
All right, Snert.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think we were talking before, and I think Dark said he was I think he's like 2 or 3 days more recent than Cardinal, but like being tank on Slipstream is really difficult because you basically have to play, Reinhardt. If you're playing main tank, we make you play Reinhardt, and you have to basically herd a bunch of cats onto point and make sure they don't die. And when I'm playing support, I really get the synergy with our tanks. And on top of that, like the shot calling on Slipstream, like our main tank shot calling is going to be the difference between winning a push and losing a push, and the rest of the players' ability to follow the tank, through the lines of fire onto the point is going to be the difference between a loss.
Wait, Dark has a mic?
Yeah, buddy.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
So, like Cajun and Alex have said, like you got a lot of flack, but you gotta
Oh, for
bring
sure.
it forward.
It's personality building all the way to put up with us.
Nah, thanks, dude.
All right, and red.
I definitely also have to go with Atomic. Atomic's like DPS is cracked in my opinion, and definitely doesn't get as much love. His hit scan is pretty crazy. I always enjoy playing with it. So I feel it's pretty underrated.
All right, Cardinal.
Well, I mean, this one's hard since, I don't know. I'm gonna say Snook, because I feel like we don't give enough love to our heals when they're like keeping us up a lot of times. Like it's between him, Peter, mostly. Sorry, the bug. I haven't really played with you yet, like in match. So, but
I think he
yeah.
has the rest of us muted too, because we give love to healers.
So yeah, I'm giving it to Snook.
Yay, Snurk.
Well, thanks.
All right, and last but not least, Dart.
Hey, yeah, this is a tough question, actually. I want to also give it to the healers, but I want to just touch on something that's probably hasn't been touched on in any of the other stuff. I'm going to give my MVP to Red Raiju, because honestly, like, I think, like, whatever he has to say, like, the stuff coming out of his mouth is gold, man, in terms of, like even just tips on, comps and what we should be doing. He's got a pretty good understanding of the game, and so he's helped me a lot to grow as a player, I think.
So he's the closest we will ever come to an acceptable coach. 10-4.
Yeah, pretty much, right? And so yeah, I mean, even like I'm kind of upgrading some of my hardware and stuff. He's taken the time to help me, like, with his understanding of the electronics market at the moment and all of the intricacies.
You did just redo your mouse, didn't you?
I was going to say, so you're going to have a lot of graphics drivers issues in your future.
I can deal with all that and stuff, but it's like when you're going through all of the intricacies, even to picking a mouse or something, it's like, yeah, Red is the guy that will make sure all of your boxes are checked. You know what I mean? Like,
Definitely peripherals, but I would never suggest my GPU to anyone. Sure, but it's not better.
Hey, if you're on a budget GPU, talk to Cajun. He'll figure it out.
Oh, I'm on that right now, so I might have to.
Dude,
I'm on the GPU because my previous one exploded.
Cajun is by far the most accessible, just all around. It might not be the best. It might not be like ideal, but he will make a computer work for hell or high water.
All right, that's really good to know.
Oh yeah, Cajun's like, oh, I've got this computer here that it's a little rough, and you're like, oh, is it 5 years old? No, it's about 12 years old. Still going.
But the power supply might work.
So he's got the Toyota computer of all time. I love it.
All right. Woo, man, this is probably our longest intro for a team yet. Goodness. Yeah, yeah, y'all got it. Well, I mean, Slipstream, compared to many of the other teams we've had, has a lot of history in the gaming world. So awesome. now we're going to go ahead and get to the fun stuff. So let's go ahead and start with our first game of the evening, Word Association. So once again, we're going to go start with Cajun and just go our way down the line. And I will say a word, and the first thing that comes to your mind, whether it be another word, whether it be a phrase, whether it be an experience or a memory that comes to your mind, whatever it is, just shout it out when it's your turn. So all these words will either come from Overwatch or Overwatch Tranquility. So those are the topics that we pick from for this section. So the first word that we have is Zenyatta.
Zenyatta.
Mm-hmm.
I think the word association with Zenyatta is digging
Why?
your team out. Yeah, why?
Thank you, Atomic.
Sorry, Snark.
I think. I mean, I love playing Zenyatta. I think he's a super DPS based hero, but man, if you don't frag out as Zen, you're just not bringing it to the table these days. And with so many people that can get into you, backline Monkey, Winston, Genji's bullshittery.
Okay, hold up.
Reach
You
across.
said Monkey, and then you said Winston. What in the world is going on?
I'm bad at word association.
You're like the Monkey, and then there's Winston. Like, they're two characters. I'm like, wait, hold up.
Hey. Winston is not a monkey, all right? He's a scientist.
I want to talk about
Okay, then you have to figure out who the monkey is. Good luck.
Exactly. Who's the monkey? I don't know.
Yeah, see, this is what I got to deal with.
No worries,
I mean, we
man.
give you a lot to work with. You're not.
I mean,
at a lack of options.
we're going to have plenty of content. Don't you worry. All right, Debugsta.
Still the same word of Zenyatta?
Same word. All the way down.
All right, I'm going to have to go with
That's
Snark's on
a bad
Zenyatta.
idea.
I'm on Baptiste. It just straight comes to mind.
Awesome. All right, Avalix.
No.
No as in I won't play it, or no as in I take it out?
No, as in, why the fuck are you on it? Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's like, do you want to get dove? And I'm like, your two DPS have no idea what the team comp is, so we're off in the right angle somewhere. Along with one tank is trying to protect our healers, and the other tank is trying to be our front line. And Zen is death. Despite that, I have been playing Zen a lot more in comp and getting like gold and silver medals along with gold healing. But dude, he is a flavor unto himself.
All right, Tomic.
I go back to my original statement. Why?
Poor Zen.
And I repeat my statement. Why not? All right,
Fair.
Snurk.
I guess now I really feel like playing some Zenyatta, you know?
Dude, I load him up into a quick play.
Okay.
I want to answer Snurk. Can we play Zen?
I guess next time I play Zen, I'm gonna try and get some gold damage medal. I think that's
Try-
That,
Dude,
is that
you
the
should.
goal?
I guess mostly I don't know. I guess I just like wish they had lore for him in the game.
I mean,
do
I'd
have
say
lore.
there's a
They're
decent amount of
working on
lore.
it. They have to leave some great cinematics for Overwatch 2.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah,
but
I
we
don't know.
we know. I would say we know a pretty good deal about Zenyatta's
We know
history.
that, like,
you know, worked with Mandata in Nepal,
Genji.
and yeah, was the master of Genji
I
when
mean, we
Genji
have about
was
as much
transformed.
lore for him as we do for Lucio.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
point. I guess that makes sense. I guess we
Healers
have the
healers are underrated. Poor
yeah we
healers.
have the broad strokes, not the
I mean,
not the
Anna's got lore.
defined facts, I suppose, as to how exactly things happen. But again, as was said before, that's all saved for the stories and PVE probably of Overwatch 2 that will I don't know, maybe it's a rumor at this point. I'm not exactly for certain what's going on. So confirmed rumor. Red Raiju.
I feel like everyone's was so good. Mine was literally just like, it's like Zenyatta, I don't know. It's like Monk.
Yeah,
Oh,
for the next question,
Robot
you need to
Monk.
reverse the order and have Dark start first.
Yeah, maybe we should. maybe we'll do that. All
yeah,
right.
everyone's got really strong opinions about Zenyatta.
It's okay. We get the back and forth here, depending on which hero we pick and who's in here. So, all right, Cardinal.
Well, my only thing is, I better not see a Lucio or a Mercy with that, or else I'm gonna be.
Oh my god, those were the days though when you had to run Zin and Lucio for 2 supports.
Yeah, but those days have gone.
Good old days. Okay, so Dark's next, I guess, eh?
Yes, you are.
So kind of staying true to the experiment. I listened to it when you first said the word, and I thought about the first word that came into mind. I didn't use all this time to think about it. And the first, and I started thinking about why. Why did I think?
Sorry, you cut out there. What was the actual word you thought of?
Oh, sorry.
No worries.
I already know the group of words he's always thinking about with Zen.
No.
Discord on the main tank. Please put the Discord on the main tank. Please put the Discord on the main tank.
That wasn't even it. The first thing that came to mind was Peacock, and I think it's because of the balls. The way they just kind of float around is I feel like there's some Peacock imagery there or something. Because I mean, that was the first word that came to my mind, man.
Interesting. That's.
I think Zen's kind of beautiful, like a peacock.
Aww.
With his tail of orbs.
All right. Well, let's not get Rule 34 struck if we go any deeper in this conversation. So.
All right. Our next word, we always like to integrate a team, and the first team we chose is Doodles. Cajun.
Integrate as far as I don't know anything about their team.
Well,
so
it's just a team that we chose as one of the words for word association. So,
wait, what was the word?
Doodles.
As a team or as a word?
As the team.
There's a team called Doodles?
Yes, there's. Oh my god. In your tier, there is a team called Doodles. Stage 1, they were 4-1, I believe, in Orem.
They had to be on the other side of the bracket thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we did not play a team called Doodles.
Well, there's somebody that's coming up, I guess, looking into the future of your bracket. So someone you may possibly face that is kind of sitting at the top of the heap, so to speak.
Their death is imminent.
All right, back up to you, Cajun.
Boy, I tell you, I suck at this game.
You just time for Zenyatta. It's just.
Yeah, I would say when I hear Doodles, just that weird puppy image of their mascot comes into play, and I'm just like, that's just so wrong on many levels. You should be manly about your Overwatch teams, and raw, destruction and missiles and firing. And here's this puppy.
Well, at least I kept it to the core rule of naming anything to be successful. Keep it to one word.
You remind me of the reason that they changed the University of Connecticut Husky into more of a wolf. It was this beautiful husky for hundreds of years, and then because sports is sports, manly, it was just we're gonna change it to look more like a wolf, and I'm like, that's not a husky. That's not what they look like at all. All right, Debugsta.
I'm gonna venture away from Overwatch because the first thing I heard of when I heard Doodles is Monster Hunter World. There's these little inscriptions. I'm not sure if they're called Doodles, but that's what I pictured in my mind.
All right.
Avalix.
For Doodle?
Yep.
Okay, so word association and not meaning any disrespect is literally drawings. That's all. Because if you're looking for something specific on team, I just don't know enough, and that's a lack of any preparedness apparently for an interview.
No worries.
Drawings. That's all I got.
All right.
Atomic.
The word noodles popped ahead, and that was about as far as I got.
Wait a second, you made it that far?
Yep.
Yes.
One day you will too, Av.
You did better than me, dude.
All right, Snurk.
Yeah, I think I guess along the same lines, I respect them for having a team named Doodles. I think it's important to not take things too seriously, and I think it's a big advantage of them to have their little puppy mascot and not try and be too serious about things.
I mean, what if they're just trying to be big brained and trying to make you think like they're cute and cuddly when really they're just gonna rip your throats out while you sleep?
Here's the problem. They assume that we have the capacity, and they have failed epically.
They assumed that we wouldn't be big brained enough for that. Aha.
All right, Red.
I'm in the same boat as Avalix. I thought drawings, but simply because I don't know much about the team, and I used to do a lot of drawing in high school.
Awesome.
So, about it.
Cardinal.
Well, this is gonna sound bad, but my first reaction was who?
Oh
no! That's the reason why me and Red went
every time. There's always one. There's always one like who. Well,
I mean,
it'll be us one day.
It has nothing to do with like them, like as a team. It has to do with Slipstream is extremely like self-contained and absorbed.
Yeah.
So our lack of knowledge is questionable.
Actually, let me take a look real quick at the.
Actually, I dispute that. There is no question about our lack of knowledge.
Oh, I thought you were going to even go so far. Like, Avalix has none, and I was going to agree with you.
So let me go ahead and put things this way, I suppose, as we get ready to do Dark and finish on Doodles. Looking at the bracketing, after you finish your wild card against Jalapenos, if you beat Royals and they beat Void, you'll be facing off in the semifinals.
So
if you don't know them yet,
Royals, who I think is a top team on our side, right?
That is another top tier team. Yes.
Oh, see, you're already way too far ahead.
Yeah, see, I'm just
another poll that 3 people vote for us and 48 people vote for the other team. I mean, that's how all the polls have been this season.
You're assuming we're getting 3 votes? Have you been voting?
Have you?
Person creates it. I vote, and then there's some pity vote.
I haven't voted, but I still look at it and be like, yeah, we're new and we're self-contained. Self-contained does a lot of like damage to our image in the community, but I think it does tremendous for like the team as a whole, though.
I was gonna assume the opposite, actually, that there are 8 people in here and only 3 of you are voting for yourselves, while the other 5 are voting for the other team out of spite.
Well, the thing is, like, I would be surprised if anyone voted. Apparently, Cajun is, so that's new.
Yeah, hey, a lot of us are old enough to know that Pete Rose, we know how he executed, so it's kind of taking little.
I mean, you were 3-0 in the second stage, so
due to luck. Hold up. I gotta
say you got a shot.
Freaking,
that was some luck, I gotta admit.
One of the teams dropped out. Another team didn't have a 6th player because the timing was god awful.
We waited hours.
Yeah, we waited hours to play the game. It was rough. We had to just be like, look, you got to do something. By the way, the one win we did have on the first section was against, like, we had a bot on our team. And won. So that was really, I think that's one of our proudest moments in any tournament recently.
Avalix, I was trying to give you one here. Why did you have to give up all the secrets,
man? No, because I know better. Here's the problem. It has nothing to do with the people in this interview now, because everyone knows, but it has everybody to do with the people listening later and be like, Slipstream went 3-0 after going like 3-1. What happened? And yeah, I did not, and I stream religiously, so the last thing I need is people checking my thing and like, that's why they lied to us now. I won't have it. I won't stand for it.
Very well. All right, Atomic. Sorry, Dark. That's where we were. I forgot. Dark, I forgot where we were in this entire conversation.
What's going on here?
Yeah, I was confused.
All right, so Dark, finish up Doodles for us.
Oh, okay. I mean, like, the first thing was something cute. I don't even know what, but like, drawings are cute things. But with the context you added, I mean, I'm excited to see them on our journey to victory.
Yeah, there you go. Dark's got it down.
We
Yeah,
got
you
some
can apologize
expectations to
later.
crush. Expectations to crush. I love that
Right.
youthful exuberance.
Having said that, Cajun, having expectations to crush, I do believe we have the correct people to crush those expectations
Oh, yeah,
and still
I know,
remain
I
part
know.
of a team.
Oh
We can
goodness.
crush the haters' expectations too.
Oh,
It
I
goes
mean,
boy.
we did. That's a thing that's happened.
Oh man. All right, so heading back into Overwatch, we have we like to do compositions or different like duos that you typically see in your
God, help us.
games, and this has been the bane ever since 222 was created for
Speaking of
a
May
DPS
tanks.
combo. That is May Reaper. So starting again with Cajun.
As far as my comments on that combination,
Yes.
was
the first thing that comes to mind when you think May Reaper?
Slipstream is a non-meta team. We basically throw the middle finger at meta a lot of times, and so May was a component of how Slipstream ran tournaments even for quite some time now. May being initially, I would say, overpowered in the beginning, and what we would do is just aggressively use May all the time and use it to chop up a team.
That's
and
awesome.
Focus down, especially a main tank, because back in the day, double shields, you're always running a Rhine, you're always running, something up front, unless you're running into a diamond team that's coordinated with dive. May could be oppressive, and May to this day is still 2CP queen. And
That's right.
Until your
right.
teams yell at you.
Yeah, even though 2CP, in my opinion, could go away tomorrow and nobody would miss it.
Probably not.
So, that's just the slight opinion on 2CP. I think it's a travesty of a game mode, and I know it has its fans. I know it has its moments. It has its moments, and I say moments.
Wait, can I interject
I'm
a question
I'm not sure
here?
you should be pluralizing that, Cajun. I think it's moment.
It has a moment.
Hey, you want to know where its moments is in the lore, because
I
most
have.
are in a video.
I'm gonna hijack things and do a question. Cajun, what do you think about the new push that they're coming out in Overwatch 2? Because considering 2CP is so hated, and it really is, do you think push is going to be any better?
A port in a storm. That's literally where I'm at with 2CP.
Because you're praying, okay.
I mean, the grass is greener. I mean, it could be the worst thing ever. I mean, we could have a whole discussion on this panacea that Blizzard knows how to team balance. And
Well, the downside is we'll have a whole
don't.
discussion of an hour and a half saying the same 5 minute clip.
But overall, I mean, Blizzard struggles with hero balance. I mean, what we see today, I think, is the best shape that Overwatch has been in since its inception. But at the same time, a lot of the Blizzard hero balance just absolutely reeks of committee design, where you just get you can just imagine at Blizzard, there's one faction that's fighting for how this hero should be run, another faction's fighting for how it should be run, and then eventually one faction wins out, and then there's a "see, I told you so" rebalancing that comes around, and that's just what we have. And it's happened with May. It's happened with a litany of heroes that.
So, what do you
have been
think
in
of
this
Reaper?
Game. I think Reaper's finally in a good spot. I think he's still. The problem and the power of Reaper is that he punishes teams that do not pay attention to him, and that's always been Reaper's shtick. If you don't turn around, if your team has bad callouts, or if you have a good Reaper, if you have a good Reaper that can avoid detection, can get in there, and you have a team that's working with
what's
your
that
Reaper.
like?
I don't know. It's
Oh
just
my
theory crafting here, okay?
I'm the Reaper main. That's the reason why I ask.
Yeah. But he can get in there. He can do a lot of damage. But that's the life of a Reaper. You're always living on the other team's ability to call out the Reaper. If the other team can spot you and call you out, you're not going to get too much value. But that's good. That's the counterplay. That's the skill play that comes with this team game. Can your tanks engage at a speed to distract the main tank line, and then give your Reaper time to get in and engage and do some cheeky kills? But yeah, other than that, I think Reaper's in a good spot. I think May's in a good spot. I think a lot of heroes are in a good spot. Maybe not Orisa.
The ultimate cop out.
I feel like almost doing this game, Gizmo, is hard with people that have had a lot of history in gaming, because that's the first thought Cajun had, and it was so detailed.
Yeah, we could go.
We could keep
like
going.
I said, a lot of these games, I mean, we could take you down any rabbit hole you pick, and we could drag you down to the bottom.
All right.
When you're playing this game with Cajun, you've got to go 10 seconds, time's up, next person.
I was about ready to say, well, we're already over an hour, so I think we might need to start timing people and getting stuff out. Debugsta, you're next. May Reaper. First thoughts.
May Reaper? My first thoughts is, yes, let's run it. I just love both playstyle of May and Reaper, and being an Ana main, I get to back both of them up. If the enemy has a May and a Reaper, as soon as they use their shift or their, get out of jail free card, I can just ante them, and then we win.
That's right. Beyblade, let it rip. All right. Avalix.
Ooh, this is easy. If we're running May Reaper, it's actually really nice because freeze and then murder. May is by far the only character in the game that can actively play for the enemy team, which is fun.
I've liked to take advantage of that.
I have proved it time and time again. Because here's the thing, I main both May and Reaper.
Drop the wall.
But I'm using it to kill this. Yeah, that happens. Yeah, I mean, I think May and Reaper are both interesting. Reaper, like Cajun said, is if you call it out and track it, then it makes it very difficult. Also, the amount of CC that's been present in the game ever since like Brig and now Sigma and everything else with the stuns. Like Reaper's ult really has a very niche situation on where it's going to be super valuable. Either you have to know where all the cooldowns are, or that. May's ult is still bar none one of the best ults if you can land it.
You bet. I wouldn't say it's so much if you can land it; it's if you can get the follow up for it.
Well, here's the thing though. May has such hard icicle like damage.
Yeah.
That once you land it, May can clean up a lot of her own mess. However, if it doesn't land right and people are able to escape, then that's why I say if you land it on 6 targets, then the fight's over, even if it's just a May, because a May is going to take down the squishies. However, May I think is in an okay spot. Reaper, I would like to see Reaper have a slight ability, maybe nerf some of his damage a little bit, to have an ability to where he counters Mercy. And I say that, like, I would like to know if Reaper kills a target, maybe he somehow, like, makes that soul just gone.
Huh.
Ooh, I like
interesting.
That.
So it doesn't allow for the Mercy res, because that's what happens. Like, you kill the main tank's down within seconds, and then you have to constantly camp the soul while trying to kill something else to worry about the Mercy res.
I mean, I feel like that might be a little OP against that particular
that's why I said you have to clip his damage. Actually, I wouldn't clip his damage because it's key in taking down tanks.
Yeah.
Clip his mobility. His
probably.
Wraith is still questionable. It's not bad. His Shadow Step is still vastly underutilized.
All right, Atomic.
My Reaper combo. Good to play if you're working, like you actually work properly together, and May's freezing targets and Reaper can then just delete them.
Reaper is somewhere in the vicinity and not flanking,
Yeah, exactly. but if you're not working together, then it's not as effective.
May, let the wall down. Let the wall down. All right. Snurp.
I'm on the other side. I'm going to die, you bastard.
I told you not to go past the door.
If you cross the choke and I put up a wall, you're done.
Yes, that is my rule. Every time I play comp.
I froze the Rhine. I froze the Rhine. I froze the Rhine again. I froze the Rhine again. Oh, I froze the Rhine again.
Why the hell are you attacking the damn Rhine?
That is also me. That is also me. All right, Snurk.
Yeah, I guess similar to Debug, I like. If we have Mayrein, I think I can play Brig, but you could also play on if you get the wall in, then just throw your nade on the top of your side of the wall, and you've got an instant anti, and whoever's been walled off.
Nice. All right, Raiju.
Definitely Cancer.
It is.
I like
but
the
it's
comp
so good.
to play the comp. I hate playing against the comp though. That is some migraine inducing stuff.
Yep. Typically, those comps will do that to you. All right, Cardinal.
It's the counter May walls though, is where you wall one person into this like brick of nothingness.
But for me, it's simple. That combo, it's not Widow, so I don't care.
As long as Widow's not in it, it doesn't matter.
Cardinal has spoken.
If there was one character to remove, it would be Widow, and then it'd be Pharah. Those
Dude,
two,
it's really hard to remove Widow though because her skill at lower levels is like non-existent.
So
and
you hate to have her on your team.
Yeah.
You hate to have her on your team, but you hate to see on the enemy team. Widow is remove, just remove.
Well, a bad
everything's just better if there's no Widow in the game.
Very well.
One trick.
All right, and Dark.
Yeah. So I mean, May Reaper from a main tank perspective, I enjoy playing with it. When I see it on my team, it's like, let's go. When I see it against me, it's pretty stressful situation.
I'm calling BS.
Have to do a certain dance.
I yelled at for playing May with you on tank.
Oh, dude. Okay. Okay.
If you block all of his hammer downs, he gets really mad at you.
Okay. I'm assuming that they're actually playing May good.
Competent? Yeah, I mean, competency is a hard problem.
But yeah, no, like I feel like I've played enough Rhine that like I know how to deal with it somewhat, but it's like it's probably one of the most unforgiving kind of dances I have to do in terms of like I can't make any mistakes against those.
Avoid the shotgun, avoid the freeze, avoid the shotgun, avoid the freeze. You're like dancing back and forth between the two of them. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It's games like
that
that remind me why I need to play on higher sensitivity, like my shield's just flicking in every direction.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah.
Chopper would be the worst one on that one.
But all in all, like I mean, if I was a DPS, I'd be like a May and a Reaper main. So like I have no qualms against it.
CC and big damage.
Deal with it.
Very well. All right, Gizmo, what do we got next?
All right, so we always like to include a caster in our word association, and this week's caster is Mr. Yeti or Ski Free Yeti. Cajun.
Okay. I haven't heard either of them cast, so I'll go to my
It's the same
default.
person, by the way.
Yeah. Ski Free Yeti, as he refers to as his maiden name.
Yeah.
For me, casting, since I've done it quite a bit, it always goes back to mic quality. Having a good mic, get that proximity effect. I don't want to be hearing echoes in the back. I don't want to be hearing like you're in a tunnel. That's always my pet peeve with casters.
All right. Debugsta.
Could you repeat the word? I had my headphones off, taking off my sweatshirt.
No worries. It's Mr. Yeti from the Iris podcast.
Oh my goodness. Yes, please. That's all I got.
All right. Yes, please. Alrighty then. Oh, starting to get hot in here. All right. Avalix.
I mean, my lack of knowledge knows no bounds, so I'm going to go with who, and then I'm going to go with as long as he's able to keep a match neutral, then I'm all for it. Too many low-level casters are betting on the team that they know versus the team they don't know.
Yep.
So since I haven't heard him cast, that's just my big caster thing. If you're gonna cast the game, even if your favorite team is playing, keeping it neutral.
I think he actually just did his first one after a while being gone because so Yeti typically runs the Iris podcast. He's also the Transcendence tier, I believe.
Yes,
Transcendence tier admin. So he runs all that. But he just did his first match on Monday, actually, after being gone for quite a while. And I would say that most of our casters, that we can be pretty proud of that most of our casters are pretty balanced with that. I myself, I always root for the underdog. So the worse you are, the more hype you're gonna get from me, because I want to see you win. I want to see that map 5. I want to see the turnaround come out. But I think for most of us, it's pretty balanced in that aspect.
We're pretty good. I even did my own team, and I stayed pretty balanced.
Yeah, it just comes from like being in a tournament, and being like, it's your first game, and it's this person, like whoever's expected to win, just gets super praised when something goes right, because of course they should, because they're expected to win.
Yeah.
And then you literally get like chirping crickets when the enemy team does it, and then it's like, oh, I get a little bit of praise, and then it's something like a 90-10 split. Like, it's ridiculous.
No, I can definitely understand that, and I've seen that before, but we try to nip that in the bud real good, I think, here. So
yeah.
All right, Atomic.
I'm going to follow Av a little bit and say who, because I don't really watch any of that sort of stuff.
How can you miss
we
the
are
podcast?
self-contained. That's why. We have no culture.
We're self-contained, and then I'm just really old, so...
Yeah.
You can just put the podcast on in the background. It's
Look,
just so
I'm
soothing.
telling you, you got to watch the podcast, because...
We even did an After Dark episode yesterday.
Just for any of them.
After who?
Is a great time.
We did an After Dark episode last night for the awards. It was a good time. So
Nice.
We've been involved in MVPs of the league. Again, we're self-contained, so we don't really know players outside of who we play. And even then, when we play the team, we're not. The league is. I mean, we got quite a few teams just in our tier alone. Each team has 6 to 10 players. We're not going to know these people.
Gotcha.
At all.
Well, I mean, it's all FaceTime. Like, unless they're like giving you whispers outside of a game or something like that, and like making themselves known. Unless you see them in the middle of a match, like I can tell you the teams like we played against, but anything outside of like that is generally like lost, just because of there's so much other stuff to know in Overwatch.
Understandable. Well, I mean, they do say it's the pun cast most of the time. So if you're into like dad jokes and puns, I guess at the very bare minimum, you shouldn't miss it.
Amazing green screen backgrounds.
Yeah. All right, Raiju, or no, sorry, Snurk.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to continue making Slipstream look bad, and I think I used to listen
looking
to the Alex
bad.
podcast.
You're
It's
not
been a
the
while,
first
so
ones.
I don't recognize the name. But
Alrighty.
It's the only time where I might get a popular people agree with me. I'll take what I can get when I can get it.
All right.
Red.
Yeah, I haven't watched the podcast, but it's got a cool name, and I might check it out. It sounds interesting.
Nice. All right.
Way to ride the fence.
Every Monday night. All right, Cardinal.
Well, I'm gonna write off a red here and be like, I'm gonna watch this. That's what I say.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't watch yet. Honestly, I didn't even know there was a YouTube channel. My bad.
Yeah. Oh well, these all go. All the recordings that we do for the BeatDrop are premiered on the YouTube channel. So that's at youtube.com/OW Tranquility, folks. You know where you're at right now. And then the feature matches and the Iris podcast we do on Twitch at twitch.tv/OW Tranquility. So the most recent podcast we did should still... Actually, the most recent 2 should still be up on Twitch, but the rest of them should be over here on YouTube if you want to check those out. All right.
Basically, what he just said was Slipstream goes from 3 votes on our next match to 0.
Well, I mean, that's only if Cajun votes for the other team, too. I'm just saying.
Okay, Slipstream 1-ish.
1-ish, maybe. Possibly. Well, the good thing is that this isn't going to come out for a couple of weeks, so you still got time to, like, bump yourself up before the truth is revealed. All right,
hold
Dark.
on to it while you can.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, what's this? Like, the thing that came in mind was... What
Did
is
we
it?
miss Cardinal?
Wait.
No, I think... Did
no,
we do
Cardinal went.
Oh, that
He
was
read off of the... He rode off of the coattails of Red, who rode off of the coattails of Snurk. Who rode off of
Right, dude, I'm sitting here thinking like it's been so like uniform, which is really odd for
Anyways,
this group.
yeah, what comes to my mind is what's a sneefer, or like what's the second word? Yeti what?
Ski-free Yeti.
Yeti.
It's supposed to be from like an old educational game. Yeah, I actually had no idea that that's what it came
you
from.
didn't know that I did, Jack, really shocked me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, I played stuff like Reader Rabbit and Math Blaster and stuff like that, but I never heard of
We're all
Ski-free.
learning.
It was this
Yeah.
game where you would like ski. You were a skier and you were going down the mountain and like you were trying to avoid this Yeti and you'd hit stuff and the Yeti would get closer and then he'd eat you if he caught you.
Oh, it was like, yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about now. From like way
Yeah,
back.
way
It was
back,
like,
way back.
It was like this Flash animation game or
Yep,
something. It
yep.
was like, oh man, oh that's dope. Okay, that just brings back. I don't know. His name brings back my youth, I guess.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
Awesome.
But yeah, I kept hearing Skifer. I'm like, do you smoke that? Do you like?
there's Yeti goes from ski free to Mr. Yeti to Doobie Yeti, man. Yeah.
As long as we can provide entertainment, we are doing our jobs.
And I mean, you know what? Based on where we are in the season when this recording's happened, I think Yeti could use it. I think all the admins could use a little bit of it right now. All right, and our last word for this is another team, but based on how things are going, we'll see how far we get, is flashbacks. So starting with Cajun again. Oh, we want to start with Dark? Okay, we'll start at the bottom and work our way up. So Dark, flashbacks. Flashbacks.
Cajun just doesn't want anybody riding his coattails. Dark, it's all on you.
I mean, honestly,
I've seen his coattails. There's no danger of riding them.
I just like flashbacks. I don't know. I think of like some I don't know. You know that meme where the guy's like with the girl and he's like turning his head and looking at that other girl or something? I don't know. It's like those moments. I just think
I don't think you know what a flashback is. Hold up.
No. I know. I don't know. My associations are wonky sometimes.
No, they're your associations, which means they're always right.
It's all right. I'm pretty sure the name flashbacks doesn't actually relate to an actual like memory flashback, or at least I don't think so. So, have we done our interview with them yet? I think we did, like early on. I'll have to go back and look at that. All right.
It's premiering, I think.
I guess they're a team, right? So maybe
Yes.
they're like the
they're like one of the another one of the top tier teams in Harmony. So
the street. Looking forward to playing them possibly or anything like that.
yeah, I'll check the bracketing again. I'm not for certain where they were in
bracket.
the.
We will not be running into them
unless you get to the finals.
Yeah.
The finals flashback.
There we go. Dark's got it. All right, Cardinal.
Well, flashback means just it's a first thing is Volsky Industries. That's with my team from beforehand in finals where we lost. So yeah, that's the flashback for me, in which I was half the issue there back when I was playing May. Weird times.
Weird times indeed. All right, Raju.
I don't know the team again. But it's a cool name. What popped into my mind, to be honest, was the TM Flash from Pokemon. Thinking about Pokemon.
Nice.
But I mean, hopefully we run into them, in grand finals, and
that's right. That's the attitude right there. And let's see. Trying to figure out where they are.
Snark.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Their logo makes me think of like Tracer's Rewind. Yeah, I guess it looks more like the icon for Moira's Fade, but I think they're going for more of a Tracer Rewind effect. So I guess maybe if they're losing, they can all like recall 3 seconds so that they're not losing.
That's way too
Now
big
just
for
picturing the
anyone
entire
else
team
to
like falling
understand.
off the map and then recalling.
All right. Moving on to Snurk.
That was Snurk just
Oh,
then.
sorry, Atomic.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm all over the place tonight.
All good, all good. First two words that popped ahead were bad drugs.
Oh man. Oh man.
And that might say more about me than anything else, but I think we'll leave it at that. Let Ab go.
Well, I mean, obviously mine's going to be like a flashback as far as memory goes. And then the second one has already been summed up of they're a team, right? Like it's just it is, I mean, again, it's nothing against them. It's the fact that like Overwatch League and then other like YouTube, your Overwatch knowledge, and then everything else is don't really check out other teams unless I absolutely have to for like an upcoming game.
Gotcha. All right, Debugsta.
I guess I'm a little bit more plain, and a meme comes to mind: the flashbacks from Nam meme.
All right. And last but not least, Cajun.
All right, Anchor Leg taking it across the finish line. I would say flashbacks for me was the first logo that I saw when I was scouting for a new league for Slipstream to join, and I really thought that it was such a nice design. I don't know if that's another Cav-inspired genius on his part or that somebody brought that to him, but having a head of a logo with the arrows going in an opposite direction, I thought was just really one of those team logos that really stood out. That to me has always been flashbacks even before we joined the league.
Yeah, I mean, if anything we can't agree on or know about, it's that Cav is a whiz with these logos, man. I tell you what, I don't know where he gets it from. I know actually quite a few this season haven't been from him, but those that are just, they're always on point. Always on point. All right, what are we doing next, Gizmo?
All right, so the next game is Team Superlatives. And for those of you who do not understand what superlative, it's like who's the prettiest on the team. So this is actually funny because we always use this one for the example, and now we're actually using it. So I had to stop myself before I use it as an example. So
It's going to be so much fun with this team.
The biggest feeder on your team.
Ooh.
Let's start again with Dark.
Yeah, let's start with Dark.
Oh, come on, please. No.
Answer
Trial by fire.
Carefully.
We're taking notes, Dark.
Gosh.
Oh, I'm taking close
I don't
notes.
know.
What you say.
Oh man, can I?
It's all in good fun,
You want me to
Dark.
go
Don't let
first?
them intimidate you.
It's got to be a healer. Like it's got to be a healer, and it's got to be a healer at some point. Because that's when I really feel it. And oh man, I don't know. I don't. He's not even here. I would say Peter, but since it's not Peter, it's gotta be. No, I can't say Snark.
I mean, there's no way. If they're not here, they can't defend themselves. So.
I don't know, man. Give it to Ab. Fucking
Nice.
All right, Cardinal.
So it's biggest feeder, right?
Yep.
Yeah. 2 seconds in, I was already like, it's Av. With Reaper in their backline, that's just the.
With no engagement happening at all. Like, engagement should be happening in 5. Go in, engagement still at choke. Damn.
I don't even call engagements anymore. I just say, Ab, you're going to die over there. And I just leave it at that.
Like 30 seconds beforehand, yeah. I mean, it's really nice and futuristic. You're going to die eventually.
That's how you cold read. You know, if you're going to do prophecies, make them vague and open to interpretation. That's how I
Exactly.
roll.
That's how it works. All right, Raiju.
Definitely Ab. Yeah, not much to say other than that Reaper. I think he can work on his timing a good bit. That's about it.
Oh, that's on a to-do list. It's been there for the last month and a half.
Yeah, been there since I joined.
Ooh, month and a half. Aren't we a little optimistic about our learning curve?
I mean, past year? Question mark? Except for at one point we didn't have tanks that could outlive me, so that was an issue. Jesus Christ.
All right. Eric.
Well, there's been a lot of people picking on Avalex, and there's more to feeding than just playing Reaper and having bad engages. There's things like maybe not using your ultimate when 4 people on your team are dead. I think that would kind of be considering that would be a feeding activity. So for things like that, I think gonna have to go with Avalex on that one.
Oh yes, there is nuance to his feeding.
I was waiting for you to be Cajun with the lack of a kill feed on his screen, but all right.
Not only his life, but his ults as well.
Hey, at least he's not dead.
I know Avalex has been picked on a lot, and I have to say, like, Avalex and I are both have been sort of out the front and fed at times, but I'd also like to pick on the healers a little bit, because often you look in the kill feed when there's a sniper around and it's like, healer gone. Ugh. Let's go again. Healer gone. Ugh. Personal cover, guys.
Oh God, using a core word. Holy crap.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
So I think it's different nights, different people feed for sure. Av does stand out a little bit, but I've done the same thing, so I'm not gonna really single out anything beyond that.
All right.
Damn, you must like playing COD with me. Anyway, dude, mine's simple. The DPS, because it is by far and few, like me and Atomic and Cajun, are the ones that happen. Yeah, it happens to the healers, but the healers are a little bit easier to recover. Like if a healer goes down, you just call stop the push altogether. But generally, it's the DPS when a fight is ended and we're in the back line and there's no way for us to make it through. And instead of having a big brain and jump off a cliff or something like that, or just going in and dying, we get caught out 30 seconds later after everyone else is rezzed and on their way back. So absolutely just DPS in general.
All right.
Yeah, and you said COD before, Av. We're not talking about COD here, so that's why I left that out.
I feed there too, though. To be fair.
Yeah.
I was
actually
hey, at least I'm consistent.
The Bucks, though.
Atomic, funny you bring that up, because that was actually going to be my first point. Even in Call of Duty, Av's always out front. Always leading the charge.
Cajun killed. That's a difference.
That does get Cajun killed. But in Overwatch, yeah, I'm sorry, Av, but I have to throw it to you.
Oh, by far.
If we're taking out the Cajun rule, then it would have to be Cajun.
Ooh.
But if we're
Even
leaving
if you're gonna talk about
it's
Cajun rule, then we got to go into our core fundamentals as a team.
I have them pulled up.
Dude, I have it in a notebook right here.
That's right.
If it ever gets talked about it, like anything in depth, yeah, there's definitely some core rules that Slipstream lived by for sure.
And finally, Cajun.
Ooh, yeah, biggest feeder on the team. I would say I'm gonna call out myself. I get depending, since I flex, I have
maybe like 2 years ago when you decided to DPS a soldier in the middle of a room.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've got the ability to flex across all roles. I can feed across healers, DPS, and tanks. We all are specialists.
It's just a massive skill. All right. Can we? The next skill that needs to be on that list is reading the kill feed.
Yes.
Oh goodness.
4 years in, I'm still struggling with that.
Oh, I just assumed you have a piece
there
of tape
goes Bob. But 5 of us are dead Cajun.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised. I can't remember who it was that called me out on my ults with 4 people dead, but Cajun by far, I think, goes the ult. I just died trying to flank somewhere in a team being communicative and calls me out, and I'm just dead. Cajun by far is Cajun, there were 5 dead. What just happened?
I've even memed my own screen, taken a screenshot of my own screen, and just had a big blurry section in the upper right. And so this is how I play. This is
how I look at the screen.
I still think the worst ult goes to the Zarya player that hit the lamppost. I can't remember who it was, but still.
Oh, that was me. I made a meme out of that. Don't worry.
That was hilarious.
Did you hit the lamppost with Grav? Am I assuming?
He did on Nubani. Yeah. That light post that goes across the top on first point. He just nails it with a grabbing. It's nobody. We're like, What?
Yeah, it's like
Hey,
a-
you know what? That lamppost will think twice before going up against you again, Snark.
You know what I think? I think our DPS just ignored it and it lived, which is a shame.
Dang, that's too bad.
I mean, I was trying to focus it, but
It happens. All right. So next question, and this should be interesting based on like how kind of deep your family aspect is for this team. Starting now with Cajun, who are the parents or parent of your team?
Oh, good lord. I'd certainly probably in the dad role, being past 50 myself. So I try to manage outside of the game, and then Avalix is certainly the wait until mom gets home personality, because that's in game.
It's awesome. Debugsta.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to echo exactly what he said. Cajun is if it's not in the game, it's Cajun. If it's in the game, Avalix definitely we look to him usually for anything.
Alrighty, Avalix.
It's absolutely Cajun until like there's a gap, whether he's either A, he misses a practice, and then he gets a whisper of why the hell did you leave me with this? Or when Cajun like is on the like other side of things, and definitely like the only time I really step up into the you're idiots role of get the shit done or like figure something out like is definitely Cajun by far. Like I step in only when I absolutely have to.
Gotcha. All right, Atomic.
Yeah, it's those two.
All right, Snurk. We're getting to the fast part of the night.
We even have recorded videos, me and Avalix yelling at each other.
Oh, I have a YouTube one of where you just lied into me and then later apologize. Like, no, that's within literally a like 4-minute span of getting yelled at, debating it, and then that's the reason why I like screaming at you, because you can take it.
Right.
Oh boy.
Like I said, think Tropic Thunder Tom Cruise type of rant. That's
I remember that, dude. That was hilarious.
I'm glad I had that on video and was able to do it, because it's just Cajun yelling and then admitting he was wrong. It was it's not bad.
Awesome. Snurk.
Yeah, I can see how like with other teams, there could be some debate back and forth. There could be some candidates, but like I think with Slipstream, it's pretty clear. You go into a game, Avalix is setting up the team comp. Hey, Av, can I play Zen? Can I play Zen? No. Wait till he's swapped out for Cajun. Pick Zen. Cajun doesn't notice. Get 5 kills. Cajun doesn't notice.
Hey, I didn't notice that
that's
either.
because he didn't. That's because Cajun didn't see the kill feed.
Actually, at that point, I wonder if Snurk has a different kill feed than the rest of us. 5. Wow.
Oh,
I just printed out me killing someone, and I just tape it to the screen on top.
Exactly. That's the best way to do it.
Keeps the confidence up.
Oh boy, Raiju.
Oh, definitely Cajun. Cajun's always setting up everything, and of course in game, I guess because of shot caller role, definitely Avalix. Cajun outside of the match though, definitely.
All right, Cardinal.
Oh yeah, I don't touch anything outside the game. Like Cajun whispering, I have a scrim, and I'm like, yeah, dude, Cajun literally sets up anything outside the game. When he misses a game or something, he tells me like I have to whisper somebody to get something set up. There's just a panic attack.
Oh boy.
So, but yeah, with what Av just said, I'm gonna go with outside a game Cajun, inside a game Av, aka is the in-game strategist.
All right, and Dark.
I mean, have you guys heard all the bickering between Cajun and Av? Like,
I mean, we're hitting an hour 50 right now.
That's like lifelong, like marriage kind of material.
Yep. I sense it. I do sense it very strongly in here. This will be by far our longest BeatDrop, by the way. So congratulations.
Let us know when you want to do part 2.
Part 2. Oh, see, I didn't even know. I didn't know we didn't know we were bringing it back.
I thought this was going to be a trilogy.
Oh goodness gracious! I don't think I get paid enough to do something like that.
And we're doing one of these almost like every night too. So.
Yeah.
So now you know why when you start with the fluff questions, we're like, oh, okay, you want to go long, you want to go the distance,
you want to go the distance. Very
Strap
well.
on your depends, boys.
Oh boy.
Yeah. We will teach you for asking us fluff questions.
Yeah, it will. I literally had to restart the VOD just because we've gone so long. So that's how long it's been.
Wait a second. Are you saying that without fluff questions we couldn't manage this? No.
No, you definitely still could have done so.
100%.
So you guys give out awards for like things like this? Like,
Maybe we should. We should start possibly giving out an
It'll
award.
be the only thing we win. It'd be great.
All right, Gizmo, take us to the next one.
We always like to include an Overwatch League player or streamer, and tonight's player is who is the hacksaw of the group, as in who has the best reactions when making a big play. Cajun?
Best reactions as far as verbally?
Like you just hear them go, "Woo! Let's go!" Or something to that. I apologize.
Well, I'm gonna go definitely with I'm gonna give it to Atomic. He's kind of that lurker in team.
Those
comms.
tires, though.
Yeah, exactly. They just kind of roll out, and it just starts the team amping up, and then we kind of go from there.
It's when death is imminent and there's no reason to win a fight, and something stupid goes on like an ult.
All right, it's a bug.
Well, thanks, Cajun, for stealing my thunder, because right back to my earlier statement where Atomic just makes us win for no reason. It makes the entire team go crazy instead of just one person.
All right.
Avalex.
I'm just giving it to the DPS flat out. Like any time like there's no reason to win a certain thing, like we're down to, and actually, Cajun, I'm going to go into a rule. We have a rule called Cajun rule. When you do something stupid and it works, it was the correct call. But if you do something stupid and it doesn't, you're an idiot.
I'm pretty sure just about every team has the Cajun rule, to be honest.
Yeah, we had to throw it in. I mean, it's something where
we've actually codified it.
Yeah,
it's the thing where like we realize like there's no reason why it should have happened there, why it managed to do what it did, and we end up on top when there's no reason for us to be there. Or when something looks good on paper and then it happens and it falls flat, we're like, oh, you did that, but I thought it was good. Nope, Cajun rule. You did it. It failed. It was a bad idea.
Bad idea.
Absolutely the DPS, unless it's like a mercy res.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Peter's come out sometimes. Peter Panning, he's our Moria expert. I mean, sometimes he's just kind of dug it out with another DPS on point or tank on point. And I remember Av trying to come up with, okay, for this next team fight, we need to call disengage for the next team fight. Or Atomic and Peter just murder everybody on point. That'll work too.
Yeah, like no one else alive. And you're like, we need to fall back. And then it's like, but the enemy team is dead now.
Why would we fall back when we already did a thing?
Well,
you were coming up with a plan. We had our own plan.
There's definitely the other side of that where you do it and it's like, great, you wasted 2 ults and we're no further for it. What the world were you thinking? But no, absolutely when the DPS do something that never should have happened.
All right, Atomic?
I'd have to say Av for he gets really loud when he's done something. He feels something. He's done something special.
I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell at all tonight. I'm just telling you. I mean, Av's just so quiet.
He's not
this
shy
whole time.
about
Haven't heard
telling
him.
you how well he did that thing either.
Dude, I make it out of spawn and it's an achievement, all right?
I'm just lucky to be here, all right?
Yeah.
I'm just here.
Yeah, with the amount you've drunk some nights, I'm impressed that you managed to just log into the game.
any coherent word at all.
All right, Snurk.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with Avalex on this one. Like I was thinking about it, we don't have a lot of people calling plays. I guess like for the supports, it's kind of like you do the play and there's nothing really to call out. You just like everyone's just kind of died, or you've just kind of ulted and just saved everyone.
Mhm.
But I think for Avalex, like when something's going down, when he's Symmetra and he's burning everyone to the ground.
That's because I have a Mercy attached to me on damage boost, and they just melt.
Yep.
Well, you are a Mercy main.
Yeah.
Oh, shut the no. There's no way that makes that into this. How dare you?
That's an inside joke. He was actually recruited for Slipstream as a Mercy main.
Oh, goodness.
No, I was recruited for my Ana main, and I got Mercy main just because freaking.
Well, it was the
Ana
land
at
of
time.
it was the Mercy res where 5-person res.
Oh, the good old days.
I feel our healers get a bit of a rough end of the stick because they do actually pull out some really.
They don't
good
show up
plays.
in the kill feed, but
They don't show up in the
make
kill feed, but they've actually kept us all alive. But it's just like we're all doing things, and it's not big and flashy per se, so they don't really get that recognition.
All right, Red.
So we don't have any players that are really like hardcore on the pop-offs, but Avalex being the only person I have set to 75% volume, it definitely have to be my answer.
Wait, I'm surprised.
You had me up
higher
at
than him.
75%. You're brave.
Oh, it used to be 25. It used to be low.
All right, Cardinal.
So that's why I have to repeat myself 12 times. Got
Yep.
it.
Well, I gotta give it to Peter, because somehow, even after the end of the team fight, where everyone contributed, he says, "You're welcome for the healing."
He does that. He does do that.
I mean,
Well, okay.
when you lack recognition as a healer, that's literally all you can do, though.
No, I mean I'm not against it. It's just funny. After the end of a winning team fight, you just hear Peter in the background say, "You're welcome for the heals." I'm like,
Some of
all
these
right.
reses are stupid. Like it's like you're on top of the enemy team and a res goes up. You're like, okay.
All right, and last but not least, Dark.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking intensity and loudness, it's got to go to Av for sure. I don't think it's even a question. I mean, Atomic for his accent, I quite enjoy listening to his voice in any context, and that's one of them. But Av just takes the intensity battle for sure. It doesn't even have to be important, whatever the hell he's saying, but it sure as hell will be loud.
All right. Our next question. So, because we're a whole bunch of boomers here on the podcast, we have to get something to keep the kids interested. And so we like to pick a question from a recent game that has become real popular, something that the kids would know about. And lately, there's been the game called Hades, which has been in development for quite some time. But recently just had a big release. A lot of streamers are playing it right now. It's based in kind of Greek mythology, where you're the son of Hades trying to escape hell in this dungeon crawler-esque type game. So the main character of the game is named Zagreus. So who on your team is the Zagreus of the team? Determined to win, but just emo as fuck, man. Just oh yeah, you see, I'm going for victory, and we're gonna get it. Yeah.
Hell, do we have anyone like that?
We don't have anybody.
Not because here's the thing: we're not generally a calm bunch, and it's if we're
it's always a shot in the dark. So honestly, just stick it on whoever you think most fits.
Because I've always told other teams, I said, think of Slipstream as a biker bar. You walk in, you're gonna get punched in the face, but we'll buy your beer afterwards. So we don't really have anything like that.
Imagine if we recruited someone chill.
Oh, I know, right?
Well, I guess
it's a personality thing. It just won't happen.
I give them 5 minutes.
You have to, because if they can put up with me 5 minutes, that's either them gone or them staying.
And the thing is, we haze. We're old school. We haze new recruits. You know, we give them a hard time. You know, and you know, like we said,
we would rather break them early than find out later.
Oh my
we
goodness.
would rather go ahead and figure out if we're wasting our time or not.
All right. So no Zagreses on the team then, it seems.
Nope.
Sorry, Zoomers.
I'll give it a shout out to Dark. That's very quiet and yet always thinks we're gonna win a game.
All right.
You say quiet. I'm still very convinced he just mutes his mic. There's a difference between quiet and just nothingness.
Oh no!
I did. He does talk. I have proof. That's why I put the Discord overlay on the OBS streams, so I see it turn on. But
You give me the
space to
talk.
That doesn't mean he
I
says
can talk
anything.
your ear off.
What was that, Dark?
Oh, I'm just saying, you give me the space to talk. I could, like, I'm a main tank on ladder. You gotta talk a lot to make your way up. But like, we have quite a few influential and vocal members and stuff.
No
so
way.
You gotta,
No.
You can't have too many cooks.
Not
in
on
the
this
kitchen,
team.
Look, you
couldn't
made
tell.
a mistake when you said the word give. No, we're not a giving.
No,
team.
they just
you
take
just
it.
Gotta take.
They just
you just
take
gotta
it.
take.
Yeah.
Why would we allow someone else to talk when we can do it?
Exactly. All right, and last question, Gizmo.
All right, so it sounds like you guys have known each other for a while, so hopefully you can answer this one. If not, just say it about yourself, and that is, who has the most interesting hobby, and what is it? And if you don't know what everyone does, then you can just tell us what your hobby is. Starting with you, Cajun.
Oh, I don't know what other people do for their hobbies.
We play games.
Cajun keeps a messy desk. Does that count?
Oh yeah, there you go. See, Avalix is OCD about everything on his desk has got to be just like to the nth degree. You know, it's like the mouse pad's got to be just so, and the keyboard's got to be just so.
To an eighth of an inch, like
right. Where I give,
it's obscene.
I take a picture of mine. I got beer bottles on it. There's caps everywhere.
I'm surprised you can find your mouth. Your keyboard is still questionable.
So yeah, my little hobby is trying to drive Av's OCD over the limit. You know,
it's not hard either.
I was about ready to say, I feel like you're working really hard on it. I'm just saying, seems like it's working out.
All right, Debuxta.
I'm gonna have to go with Cajun because he just collects the weirdest computer components, and then they work, even though they're from the 2000s. They work.
Hey, I can totally agree on that.
I collect one other thing in Overwatch.
Loot boxes.
Yeah.
Tell them how many loot boxes you have unopened.
I have 3,400 unopened loot boxes.
Whoa! What?
So I collect the only thing worth collecting, and that's the loot. I even have the Hammond loot box still unopened.
Wait, they made a Hammond loot box?
Yes,
What?
they did.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
I remember that.
I have seen many a number. I have never heard of that number before.
Well, you don't have to worry about it. If it wasn't on his screen, since he can't count that high, he just goes.
Oh. It's not part of the active game, so that's why Cajun doesn't pay attention to it, right?
I'm sure he just didn't see it.
If it doesn't have anything to do with shooting people, I don't care. I
mean, it might be the same as his kill feed. He might just have a piece of tape over
exactly.
it.
That might be true. Wow, that's amazing. I have been trying to gather them myself this year. I want to try to hit 1,000 before the end of the year, and I just hit 500 . But holy
and
crap!
Now your dreams are shattered.
Oh man, 3,000! I have never heard of an ungodly amount of. Could you imagine how long that would take you to open?
Yeah, it's in your general channel. Took a pic of my screen.
Oh my gosh, that is absolutely ridiculous.
All right, Avalex.
Oh, it's Cajun by far. With the loot box collection and then the random crap he keeps on his desk.
Oh yeah, I had a screen in there, and Debug was making fun of my '80s CD. I actually had an '80s mix CD on my desk.
Dude, I'm pretty sure there's floppy disks too. I don't even like the cassette tape's a little bit easier to swallow, but dude, the stuff I have no idea why.
For you Zoomers out there, wow, you basically take your little USB plug in to save stuff. That's what they're talking about.
That's like 20,000 floppy disks. Hold up.
Yeah,
the storage
it's like
is insane.
I'm trying to give them something relevant that they could, kind of be
There's
like,
nothing relevant.
that's the closest relevance to that.
Adrian is a man out of time. Like, there's nothing relevant.
I mean, I grew up with floppy disk. Like, it isn't that long ago. Tech just moves way faster than like anything previously experienced since.
I mean, he just moves faster than Cajun cleaning his desk.
I guess that is the case.
All right, Tomic.
Actually, I'm going to pick on Cajun again, but it's because he tends to be a bit of a beer connoisseur. So you know, every time you have a match and he's drinking a beer, it's generally a different variety, and yeah, it's kind of interesting.
I mean, he has to drink to keep up with that desk of his.
Hey, Atomic came down to New Orleans. We had some good beers.
Yeah, I was down there for work. Cajun and I met up.
Nice.
Sweet. All right, Snurk.
I mean, I don't even know what one of the other members of this team would have to do to try and rival Cajun this field here.
It's just not worth our time to try at this point.
I mean, it's up to you all. What you believe is an interesting hobby is totally your own interpretation.
All right, and Red.
I guess tag on the Cajun. I don't know anyone's hobby.
Everybody's like, it's been 2 hours. I just want to be done with this at this point.
I'll share my other hobby since I don't know anybody else's. I read like an unfathomable amount of Spider-Man comic books. Like, insane amount.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have all sorts of talents here.
Cajun knows.
Reading and counting and
One of my hobbies was to drive Red back and forth to work.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, Red, who is your favorite Spider-Man?
My favorite Spider-Man?
Your favorite Spider-Man.
Oh man, like how deep can I go?
I mean, you can go as deep as you want to go. You're the one that reads all the comics.
If Scarlet Spider's okay, it's definitely Kane Parker. Scarlet Spider, not the original Scarlet Spider, but Kane Parker.
Kane Parker, yes.
He goes, that comic's such a good read.
Yeah, see, I'm not a comic reader, but the Miles Morales one that they just recently did in the animation, like that was really cool.
It was really good. Spider-Man Walk comes a close second too.
Actually, mine is as Penny Parker. I love the robot, and I'm a huge anime fan. So,
oh, I haven't read the comic yet. No,
the comics actually is pretty good.
So much different from the animation. She's like older and she's got like a way taller mech.
Yeah, she is. It's a lot different. They really did that, especially with the Noiri Spider too.
Yeah, because Noir's my second favorite.
He's cool. But mine's Miles Morales for second.
I'm going to toss in a little observation here, dating myself a little bit here, but I think I was always kind of I'm a comic book reader myself. I wasn't a collector, but a reader. But for me, I think the best Spider-Man and for me, why it stood out was Todd McFarlane's drawing back in the day when he was on Spider-Man.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
All right. Okay, Cardinal, what do you got?
Well, I mean, I don't, as Per said, I kind of joined recently, so I don't really know much yet.
Okay.
And for my own hobbies, I really don't have any except like gaming, which is pretty sad.
It's not. Sad. I wouldn't say that it's sad. It's not sad. We all have our things that we get our enjoyment out of. So people usually come in here and just say Overwatch. So I mean, if you're doing another game other than Overwatch, I think you're succeeding right now.
I mean, I've been in the gaming scene for 3 decades. I've traveled all over the world for it. I've met literally tens of thousands of people. It's been a great, great experience, top down, from a very underground type of thing in the early Doom days with it going to tournaments. Very much, multiplayer was at its very beginning, and you're rigging up your work network to play Doom and getting a bunch of guys in and traveling literally 1,000 miles to play in a tournament. So any hobby is what you make of it. But there is that stigma that I kind of try to steer people away from as far as a gaming. Everything can be taken too far, of course, but in and of itself, it's not a stigma. I said the people that are in gaming are generally some of the brightest people you're going to run into. They're very creative. They know how to problem solve, and if they're in any sort of leadership positions in these games, especially multiplayer games, so you're going to want these people. They have the ability to speak up and have their opinions, and that's not always a common feature, And like I said, I've traveled all over, and having people be able to kind of maybe raise their hand and say, maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe we need to try something else. That's a good thing.
Yep, it sure is. Them's goals right there, Cardinal. That's goals. All right, Dark. Last but not least.
Yes, sir. Oh man, what was the question again?
What is who on the team has the most interesting hobby, or what is your most interesting hobby?
Oh man, I think I heard Av tell me what his job is once, and I'm still convinced he's a mad scientist. So I'll give it to him.
Definite emphasis on mad.
Oh,
I mean, fair enough, I guess.
All right, we have finally at 2 hours and 10 minutes. I can't read my screen because we've been going so long. We are finally at everyone's favorite part of the night, Server Kick Trivia. And basically what happens is tonight's topic is Overwatch voice actors. So what you're going to be doing is we will give I guess it depends on how the first couple rounds goes. We might swap it around depending. But what we're going to start doing, at least, is we will say the name of a character. And then it will be up to you there in the lobby to determine who is that voice actor for that character. In order to buzz in, you just say your name. So if I was Snurk, I would say Snurk. And then myself or Gizmo will call on you. If you say me, we won't know who it is. And if you say the answer, then you just help someone win. So really pay attention to saying your name first. Really important.
Is it going to be multiple choice? Or
nope.
Is it
Nope. We don't do any of that here.
The entire team could try this.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna stay here for a few days.
Okay, we might do it. We might do it the other way around then. So we'll give you the name of the person, and then you can give us the Overwatch character you think they voice.
Much
better. Does that make things a little bit better?
Character and force us to
Just come
impersonate
down
that
to whoever
Overwatch character.
Google quickest.
It'll come down to who Google's quickest. I didn't even think of that as ever being an issue with this game. All right, so to finish this out, the way that it works is that if you get the answer correct, you get to choose who we kick out of the lobby. If you get it wrong, then you end up getting kicked out of the lobby. And I got some great puns to kick people out with. So, and then who's ever left over gets essentially the floor to themselves, and then we're going to close it out. So you get to say whatever you want, and the team can't contradict you, and then they'll find out what was said once the beat drop comes out. So, any questions?
Nada.
All right. So, our first name And I feel like this is a pretty well-known one. Just personally, I feel like this one is really well-known, especially if you were paying attention during event week. Fyodor Chin. So who does Fyodor?
Debugsta99.
All right, Debugsta. Who is Fyodor Chin's character?
Oh my goodness. I thought I knew it, and I don't, but I'm just going to go ahead and guess. Genji.
No! Fyodor Chin is the blessing from above, the entire symbol of our beautiful community. It is Zenyatta.
I knew.
Debugsta, you took a shot and you missed, and so now we gotta send you on your way. Any last words there?
Twitch.tv/Debugsta99.
Well done.
Good job using your time wisely, Debugsta, but you just been squashed. All right, and then there were 7. Gizmo, pick the next name.
All right. So
this is gonna be a fun one.
I think I'll go with someone who is an actor, might help a little bit.
Okay.
Johnny Cruz.
Snurk. I got to be Lucio, right?
Woo!
There we go.
All right. I was hoping someone
Can't stop, won't stop.
I'm on top of the world.
All right,
Who are
Snurk.
you kicking out, Snurk?
Oh, who are we kicking out? Oh,
Yep,
man,
you get
I
to
don't wanna kick anyone out.
choose.
Not yourself, though.
Nope, you can't choose yourself. Not allowed. We had too many people do that before. This is cutthroat, all right?
I'm guessing I can't choose one of you.
Well, of course not. We're the ones kicking you out.
Crap, dude.
Dang. I see how it is, Snurk. All right.
Let's go with let's go with Cajun because he's on top.
There we go. I had a feeling taking out the big papa. All right, Cajun. Thanks for being with us. Any last words there, Cajun?
Lafayette, Louisiana, Les Le Bonto Relais. Let the good times roll. Good night, guys.
All right, have a good one, Cajun. You were hot, but just not spicy enough, unfortunately, to keep going. All right, and to our next voice actress is a favorite of Lady Jack and myself, Anjali Bhimani.
Atomic Devil.
Atomic Devil.
Symmetra.
That is correct. Nice. She is an incredible feat. If you watch any of her stuff outside of this, like, she's just all about positivity and awesomeness, and she's just the greatest. So Atomic, who we sending away?
I'm so disappointed you kicked Cajun out, so that's going to be you, Snurk.
Oh! Snurkity snurk. We gotta send you away. Any last words?
I'd like to apologize because I know you have a pun for my name, but it's just some nonsense letters. So I wish you luck with that, I guess. And sorry.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I thought he was finished. Surprisingly, it was just kind of like a smirky face, like a sideways frown. That was pretty much all I came up with, unfortunately.
Right.
For the simple fact that his name was Snurk, and I'm like, oh man, what do I guess I could have gone with a Lemony Snicket pun. I didn't think about that fast enough, though.
Okay. Next voice actress is my favorite because I actually have a friend who does a podcast and actually had her convince him to play Overwatch. And that is Carolina Ravassa.
Red Raiju.
Red Raiju.
Sombra.
Did you mean to do that? Because you are correct.
Awesome.
I love it. I know TV voice line. This is great.
I watch her on YouTube all the time. She's cool.
And actually, for those who don't know, she's also Reyes in the new game Valorant.
Sweet. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, sorry. I was thinking of Anji. She actually got a role in a different. What game did she get a role in? Huh. I don't know. They have been popping off. They have been just incredible. This 2020 is their year, even though it's nobody else's.
Those of you who like Apex still, was it Caustic is Soldier 76.
Ah. All right. So who are we sending on their way there, Raiju?
I'm gonna go ahead and send out Avalix since
I was about ready to say Avalix has been so quiet once we started this.
I am super tired.
Just randomly guess something. Like you should just got yourself out.
No, I mean I wasn't gonna be that mean because I have to be able to like punish you later. So I had to wait.
All right, we can 1v1 later.
All right. Any last words there, Avalix?
Absolutely not. You have a good night, guys.
All right. You be tough as anvils. I another name I didn't know what to go with, unfortunately. I see. I did it at the beginning, so I didn't have all the history to be able to include when I wrote them down. So it's I'm just going off the fly here, folks. All right. So next one is someone that if you know this voice actress, she is. Like, when you think of her character, she is, like, the exact opposite, and it's so amazing. And that's Lucy Pohl.
Lucy who?
Lucy Pohl.
Pohl. P-U-L-L?
P-O-H?
Nope, don't spell it for them. They're all looking them up anyway.
No, I'm actually not.
All right, Raiju.
Wait.
Did you say it?
Name.
Oh, you didn't say your name? Oh, okay. You were all talking over each other. I thought you said your name.
I said my name.
Oh, okay. Atomic.
Mercy.
That is correct. Lucy is just like a devastating force, but then you think she's Mercy? Really? Mercy's just so wholesome. So out of character. But she's amazing too. All right, Atomic. Who are we sending on their way?
Jeez, this is rough having to be such a bastard to kick people out.
That's what we do here.
We'll go Dark. He's Dark Ice Demon. He's being a bit quiet at the moment.
Dark. You thought you could get away, but no. Atomic
Just
saw
slide
you.
under the radar.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get any shields for a while, I can tell you.
All right, Dark. Any last words?
I just wanted to give you guys a big thanks. Appreciate the time. Honestly, I've never been on a radio show before, so this is great. I appreciate everything you guys are doing for the community, and yeah. If anything, feel free to reach out. Love you guys. I'll be sure to check you guys out.
All right, thank you so much, Dark. But be banished to the light. All right. What do we got in there next, there, Gizmo?
All right, I'm gonna go to one of the male actors since we've done a couple female in a row.
All right,
and that is Matthew McCurr. I hope I said that right.
No, Matthew Mercer.
Mercer.
Yes. Nope, we're gonna get copyright. Don't do that. Jeopardy's gonna come after us. No,
we don't make money. They can't come after us.
I mean, we really don't like make anybody off of videos anyway, so it's not like it's that big of a deal.
You get 15 seconds before copyrights hit you.
Red Raiju?
Red Raiju.
McCree.
That is correct, partner. All right. Who are we sending on their way?
I'm gonna send. Let's see. I'll see you later, Atomic.
Oh, see,
he was afraid of the competition.
I mean, that's kind of the whole point of the game. So, all right, Atomic. Any last words?
No, just thanks a lot, guys. As Damon was saying, like, yeah, it's appreciated you going to the effort to put all this together and, you know, getting it out to the community and that. You know, keep up the good work and yeah, thanks a lot.
No problem. You have a good night. Atomic, more of a spark than a boom, unfortunately. All right, and we're down to the final two. Oh man,
As always, one of the ones who doesn't
that's
say
true.
anything.
I'm gonna go with the throw pick here and see how good these two really are. And the name is Jonathan Lipau, or Lipau. Lipau. I'm not 100% on that one.
Oh.
Fuck it. What do I have to lose? Cardinal. There you go.
Cardinal.
Cardinal. I love it.
Who does Jonathan voice there, Cardinal?
I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be Monkey.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Close in like lore aspect, but unfortunately that is Crispin Freeman. Yeah.
You gotta be the ball.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I literally watched the video on it the other day.
Yeah, well, let's be specific. It is literally the ball. No, it is the ball. So technically, Hammond, aka Wrecking Ball, has two voice actors. There is a voice actor for the hamster, and then there is a voice actor for the ball. And Jonathan Lipau is the Wrecking Ball. So he is the computerized voice that you hear translate all of Hammond's speak. So Cardinal, it was a good shot. You had a good run, but we got to send you on your way. Any last words?
Well, all I gotta say is thanks for having us. This was fun, and I'm definitely gonna check you guys out. Now that I know, got knowledge now.
Well, we definitely appreciate it, and with your shorthand of card, I ain't got any for you. Go fish. All right. And Red Raiju, you are the victor of Server Kick Trivia. I now dedicate the floor to you for try not to take too long because we're almost at 2.5 hours. But whatever you want to say.
I just want to say thanks for having us. Making time. You let us go on way longer than you probably should have.
It's all right to have some diversity.
Yeah. I just want to say, look out for us. I think we could surprise a few people with this tournament, and just keep an eye on us. Don't vote for the wrong people.
Ooh, all right, you hear it. They are coming for ya. Thank you so much, Red Raiju, and thank you to Slipstream for spending time with us. I know that this is a rather long beat drop there, folks, but I mean, how are we going to cut any of this great content? It's just so amazing. So, from all of us here at the Tranquility Community, that's it for us at the beat drop. My name's Captain Jack.
I'm Gizmo Charmander, and we'll see you next time.
Let's drop the beat.